All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. Hello. Hello. Oh, microphone's good and loud today. I love it. I love when my microphone is loud. Makes me feel like I'm speaking to the whole world. It makes me very happy. Let's see. We got a couple of people in here right now. Hello, Cam1138. Hello, David. Hello, Benevolent Veteran. Hello, Nicholas Shades Art. Miss Quark. Kirby is king, everyone says. Yes, yes, yes. He sure is. Everyone loves Jack Kirby. Everyone does. Hi. Had quite a day today. It's just, we're running around packing up the house. We had the movers come in. The movers came down to the basement. I got to throw everything away. I got to have a big yard sale. I got to have a big yard sale. It's crazy. I've got too much stuff down here. The movers came down here and we're just like, so we're going to box all this up. Yes. Box it all up. Box up all these toys. Box up all this silliness. Get it out of here. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We're going to be in the new house in less than a month. So we're busy running around, doing all kinds of cool stuff. I took Ava out for ice cream today. Just had kind of a nice morning, early afternoon, and now I'm joining you guys doing my daily video. And it's easier to do them live right now. Again, I'm so pressed for time. I don't know if you sense an urgency, if you can sense extra passion in my voice. If you can, it's because I'm crazy busy. Cyberfrog Blood Honey has to get done by the end of the month, and so I'm laying out the rest of it. I'm getting this thing finished. It's got to go to the printer April 30th, or at least it's got to be out of my hands April 30th, to be honest with you. It's okay if it doesn't go to the printer on April 30th. I'm leaving that up to the publisher. I've got so much to do, and there's so much more that I want to do. Today, I am drawing one of the survivors on this page. There was a perk in the first campaign where if you bid an enormous amount of money, you get to be drawn into the book. And, I'm working on one of those right now. A little girl named Megan. She is going to be, well, she's got a little scene. She asks Lily where she's going. That's, but it's good. It's a nice shot of her, and it should make her mother very happy. And I've got a whole list of people who are going to be in this book as survivors. One of them is a police officer. One of the guys who gets killed is a cop. Like in real life, he's a cop. I'm like, oh, I love it. Yeah. Of course. I would love to do that. It just makes sense. He's like, well, I'm a police officer. I'm a police officer now. I don't know what I would have been in 1998. I'm like, I'm going to throw those rules out the window. I think most of the people who are, being a part of this book or a part of this book probably weren't around or weren't adults in 1998. I mean, maybe not. 1998, I was like 24. Yeah, I'll just draw you in however you want to be. But any details about your life, things that you like, obviously what your name is, these things are going to go in the book, and you'll get name dropped and your face will get in there. But a couple of people got to be murdered by the Wasps, and this police officer is one of them. So I'm going to turn him inside out. It's going to be fun. Hi, Got Hanzo. Hello, Forrest Young. Says, I bought a Cyberfrog. Michael Donovan says, EVS, I'm so honored to help you with Blood Honey. Thanks for all you do. No, thank you. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you, all of you. This comic book is driving people crazy. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This comic is legitimately driving the left insane. And I really, like, I'm used to it at this point. I think when you're the victim of abuse, you start to go, wait a second, this is just my life, and this is kind of the way things are, right? And then it's only now and then when you gain some perspective, when you kind of like step back from it and go, wait a second, no, this is really weird and wrong. Like, why? This is just a comic book, and why won't people just leave me alone? Why won't the SJWs just kind of go, well, fuck him, and move on? And the reason is, and I think about it, when I'm driving, I kind of go, what is this like craziness, this constant harassment from like disgusting people. Like, why is this happening? And I realize it's entirely because of Trump. It has very little to do with me. The harassment was quiet for a little while when people thought that the Mueller report was coming and maybe this would be the end of Trump. All of this is political. I mean, all of it is political. The abuse that was aimed at me started when Trump was elected. It intensifies at certain weird, opportune times when it seems like my troubles when I'm being harassed kind of coincide with when Trump is especially being harassed. Now, this is stupid and nonsensical, but you see, these are people who are trying to exercise some control over the world. They need to make sense of things that don't make sense to them right now. Uh, you know, it was only a couple 3 years ago when they thought when liberals and who we now call SJWs thought that they were unconquerable, that demographics were destiny, that the Democratic Party was destined to rule unchallenged, for generations and generations until the Republicans just decided to give up and become progressives too. And that's kind of what's going on right now. So, on the one hand, that's aggravating, but on the other hand, it's incredibly inspiring. And also, it gives you the key to how to twist these people inside out as well. Look at this. Look at this inbox I got from somebody. Now, these people are also obsessed with Captain Marvel. And because I am not obsessed with Captain Marvel, quite the opposite, and Captain Marvel made $1 billion, I get harassed over Captain Marvel too. This is just one inroad. Like they think this is going to get under my ribs here. So you, haha, Captain Marvel hit $1 billion, and now you look like a bigot, LMAO, fucking pussy. All right, so right here it says you're a white male Trump supporter, therefore your opinion doesn't matter. I can't wait to see Captain Marvel hit 1 billion LMAO. You're going to look like the biggest bigot. What a waste of space. And then we've got 2 skulls, which I don't know. I guess it means death. This feels so good. Ha 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 ha. Have fun seeing her in Endgame Crybaby. All right. So this is who these people are. And I'll respond this way initially. I made $30,000 in, this is meant to say ad. It says as garbage tier. Every now and then I'm garbage tier. I made $30,000 in ad revenue making fun of Captain Marvel and Brie Larson last 2 months. It feels great having her stick around. People hate her and I get paid to dunk on her. FYI. So you spent $18. I made $30,000. All right. So this is the response, of course. And by the way, SJWs, and this is going to be all a part of my video series on how SJWs all say the same thing. Well-read user, yeah, 30K in ad revenue, not as. I spelled it wrong, autocorrect or something. It got through. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I accidentally misspell things. It's not intentional, but I hope that people actually can see through it and read what I meant. If not, I'll correct you. So anyway, SJWs all say the same thing. Currently, what SJWs all say is, imagine blah, blah, blah. Imagine blah, blah, blah. They begin everything with imagine. Everything begins with imagine right now. They're like, ha, imagine doing this. And rah, rah, rah. This is an SJWism. It's a new addition to NPC programming. I can't explain it. LMAO. Imagine making videos to hate another person and get paid for it. Please do something productive with your life. You clearly have none. These Republicans get dumber and dumber. So obviously, this is about politics. This isn't about Captain Marvel, and this isn't about Star Wars, and it's not about comics. Everything comes down to politics with these people. It all comes down to politics. It's all about Trump. And as soon as you realize that, things start to make sense. These people have lost control over the real world. They've lost control over their government. They've lost control over the ability to assert their progressive will on the rest of us completely, at least in real ways, in legislative ways. They don't have any power like that anymore. So they're going to do it in other ways. They're going to try to harass individuals that are in there. They're going to try to get people fired from their jobs. This is kind of what they're doing right now. All right, hang on. Let me have a drink. Ready for a glug glug? Okay, hang on. All right. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Well, this is how to respond. Well, whatever. No indictments. Trump's getting reelected, and all you got is creepy Biden and AOC. No wonder you all went to see Captain Marvel, hoping there's a competent hero out there somewhere to save you SJWs. There isn't. And then you do the laughing thing. Hey, I'll buy a pool with all the money I make laughing at you idiots and fill it with your tears next November. And this is when you do the laughing, but also the frog gay rights shrug. And by the way, your boy Zach can't really criticize this. This is not half of a rainbow. This is a full-on gay rights flag. Okay. Again, what does it begin with? Imagine. This is the thing. I don't know why they do this, but they do. Imagine your leader being the person to say, grab me by the pussy and wanting to fuck his daughter if she wasn't related to him. LMAO, how sad. Trump is the fool and you supporting him makes you a bigger fool. He's a racist and the wall is never going to be built. He's not getting reelected. LMAO, the youth proved they're getting out and voting with these midterm elections. Trump. Keep crying and flailing. It's delicious. I can't wait until the election. It'll be hilarious. Hey, Captain Marvel made $1 billion though, so cheer up. Save them from Trump, Brie Larson. ... She isn't saving you. She isn't saving you. Okay. So that is the way it goes. Brie Larson is not going to save the day, and it is sad. It is very, very sad. All right, so cyber, but see, the thing is, like, as soon as you understand that, that all SJWs really care about is politics. It's not about this. It's never been about comic books. It's never been about Cyberfrog. It's never been about Captain Marvel. Really, it's never been about anything. These are all cudgels that they use to, to complain. They feel bad in their hearts, and this is kind of why it happens. Hello everyone. Oh, here's Mike. Mike S. Miller. He says, "Don't make me snap." Well, Mike, it's good to have you in here. This is the way that you're going to have to communicate with me now, Mike, because obviously you're muted on Twitter. So you want to come in here? You want to talk, Mike? A lot of people are saying kick Mike. It's yeah. Quick EVS, take away his wrench. Well, I mean, Mike, yeah, I don't know that we need to do that yet. Let me see. I saw Mike time someone out. That was disturbing. Did he leave or is he still in here? Yeah, Mike, you can come on if you want. Just say yes and I'll send you the link. He says LOL. All right, well, let me send Mike the link. We'll see if Mike wants to come in here, and we can talk about Jack Kirby together here. We're going to do the Jack Kirby part of this show. It's very important. And Mike left last time. I feel like Mike needs to talk. Dun, dun, dun. Mike S. Miller. Come and talk to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. All right, there you go, Mike. So if you want to pop in here, you can. Just you. And we'll even talk about Theme G. Lately, I try to call it the Meg, and people get upset with me. They're like, it's not the Meg, it's Theme G. Theme G. Yeah. People are crying for, like, Mike's wrench. I don't think so. Mike's going to come in here, Mike's going to say good things, and he's going to make people happy. And that's what we need to do. We need to make Mike kind of just, I don't know, we need to make him feel better. DJ Tender says Theme G. Yeah, it was my fault. I saw the Meg, picture the Meg all crammed together, and I saw it as Theme G. I didn't see it as the Meg. And I called it Mike Miller's Theme G. And since then it's been Theme G. So yeah. And that is the thing. And now once you create a meme, you can't really go back on the meme. You know, people expect you to be consistent with a meme. Well, hello, Clint and Sweetcast. How are you today? Of course, Sweetcast is the owner, operator, creator of the new Indiegogo campaign, Downcast, which is doing really, really, really well. Well-read user, thanks for $2. Hey, E, are you still doing more tiers for Cyberfrog? Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's just a matter of timing. You know, I got to go to. I got Star Wars Celebration this weekend, and it looks like my campaign is going to end while I'm away at Star Wars Celebration, which is extremely inconvenient. I really don't like that. Lightning Fan says trying to stop a meme is like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube. That is correct. You got to just roll with it. You've got to just roll with it. Kang Lobster says, "Hey, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, is the package for international shipping the same? I want to know if I should get it shipped directly or through a friend in the U.S." Well, there's a $10 difference. I think we increased the international price by to $20, so it's $10 shipping domestic, $20 international, which I think is still fair. Anasa Rabadi is here. He's $2. He says, "Can we please get Trixie Kane to 20K?" I don't know. I hope so. Last I looked, we looked at you last night. We looked at Trixie Kane and it looked pretty good. You were above $19,000 and it was impressive. Yeah. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Jack Kirby because I don't know if Mike's coming in here or not. Mike said, hang on a minute, but I don't know if he's coming in. Ro Kabir Kumar says memes are the last bastion of art. I think they are when you guys do them. The thing about Ro Kabir's war campaign live streams is that when he produces a meme, they're open to interpretation, and he does ask people to step back, look at the memes, and tell him what they think is happening there. And I think that's a valuable exercise. Liam Gray says you missed my super chat. I'll go back and get it, Liam.
Oh, geez, that is way too loud. Yeah, my son had the speakers in the living room, so I had to get him to get my speakers.
Oh, well, that's good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Okay, Mike, let's talk about Jack Kirby.
Let's do.
What you know about Jack Kirby, Mike?
Not a whole heck of a lot. I was never a big fan of his art growing up because it was just so over stylized, and I was like into the more realistic artists. But when I got older, I grew to appreciate what he was doing, and damn, how fast he was doing it.
Yeah, he was a machine.
Yeah,
I remember
his designs. It's interesting seeing like really crazy design heavy stuff like from him. I don't know, translated by like the more realistic guys like Byrne and everybody, everyone. And it's like that's something that's really lacking, I think, in today's comic designs.
The simplicity, the elegance of a Jack Kirby design.
Yeah.
It really is something else. Hey, everyone, smash that like button. Mike S. Miller's in here. We got 1,000 people watching. Me and Mike are going to talk about a bunch of things. We're going to try real hard not to talk about objects shaped like penises. And we are going to talk mostly about Jack Kirby. So if you want to hear this, we're going to talk about why Jack Kirby would punch SJWs, despite what you may have heard. Now, Mike, I'm sure that you have noticed recently a weirdo trend in which SJWs have adopted Jack Kirby. For some reason, they think that this is okay to do this. They think that speaking for a comic book professional who was dead and who most of them have probably never met, and if they did meet him, they met him in passing. Jack Kirby died back in 1994.
Yeah.
They think that it's okay to speak for Jack Kirby and to impute violence to him, political violence.
Wait, these are the people who got really, really mad when someone claimed. Who was?
Well, you're thinking of Darwin Cook. You're thinking of.
And there was a video of him saying things, and we're like, yeah, that's exactly what we think.
Do you remember that?
Mad. Yeah.
It's peculiar, right?
a
Don't
little
speak for
bit.
dead people. You can't speak for dead comic book pros. Well, we actually weren't. We're playing his words. And
Yeah,
one of his best friends was actually speaking for him.
yeah.
But don't let facts get in the way of your
Feelings.
emotions. Not just feelings, emotions, Mike.
Yeah.
Emotions are even better than feelings. What do you think about emotions versus feelings? What's the difference?
The heart is desperately wicked. That's what the Bible says.
That's interesting. All right, so yeah, don't let facts get in the way of your feelings, and also make up your mind. Either you're allowed to speak for and project yourself onto dead famous comic book professionals,
Oh wait, come
or
on,
you're
Ethan.
not.
You honestly can't expect consistency out of these people, can you?
I expect them to be consistently horrible, and I'm rarely let down.
That's fair.
Rarely let down. So, in any case, somewhere around the election, again, everything stems from the agony, the ass madness
Yes.
of the Trump election. That's where all of the craziness really began. I mean, SJWs were acting, nutty, but they were acting nutty and entitled. They were winning. They felt they were winning,
That is
and
fair.
so they weren't quite as angry as they became in 2016. 2016, they lost their minds, and suddenly this thing started to emerge where it's like not Trump, Jack Kirby would punch you. Jack Kirby punches Nazis. And Jack
Jack
Kirby would
Kirby
punch.
created the Fighting American.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on. Jack Kirby would do that, and he would punch you because you voted for Trump, and that means you are a Nazi. So, in other words, Jack Kirby was about 5'4", by the way. He was a little guy. You don't know that because you don't really see too many pictures of him. Jack
Just
Kirby
sitting
was
down.
yeah, he's sitting down. He was a little guy. He wasn't punching too many people. Jack Kirby in his old days, I mean, Jack Kirby was, was Jewish. He was, he grew up in New York, and he was kind of a little rabble rouser. I picture him as a Ute, as we say in New Jersey, Ute, as looking like the Toady kid from Christmas Story. You know, the bully's Toady. What's that kid's name? Grover
Ah,
Dill.
dude, that is one movie I freaking never wanted to watch.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I could never take that movie for some reason. I don't know what. I'm not even sure what it was. Every time I tried to watch it, I'm like, oh,
All right, so what the hell?
I know, no.
Hold on a second. Comics Exposed, thanks for $10, says, Ethan, you keep that Michael Jackson pedo garbage to your channel and your channel only. My bowels are still angry at you for bringing that garbage to Miller's channel. Enough is enough. No more ever. I wasn't
Pedo?
going to talk about it, but
Let's talk about Michael Jackson.
no, we're going to talk about Jack Kirby.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so Grover Dill. That's kind of the image of young Jack Kirby for you. Jack Kirby, the rabble rouser, and he went and he served his country in World War II.
Yep.
You have to understand the context of the times. These guys, they were Jewish. They lived in a Jewish neighborhood. Hitler was out there. A strong wave of anti-Semitism, but there was anti-everything back then.
Yeah.
Mostly anti-Irish. There was definitely anti-Semitism. People hated the Italians. People definitely hated the Japanese.
Yep.
People despised the Germans.
Yep.
You know why they hated the Germans?
They ate sausage too much?
No, Mike. World War One, but also the Lindbergh baby kidnapping.
Wasn't that a hoax though?
No. Was it a hoax? How could it be? It was a hoax that went wrong. They found the kid's desiccated dead body in the woods. The guy who kidnapped and murdered the Lindbergh baby, Bruno Hauptmann, German. And there was a lot of anti-German sentiment. People
Totally
said,
deserved.
yeah,
Well
typical. This was before Hitler. When was the Mike? When was the Lindbergh baby kidnapping? Was that like 38? Hold on, let me see.
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Lindbergh baby kidnapping. This is why we have Google.
That's right. We need John Malin here.
Oh no, 1932. So well before, well after, and well before World War II, well after World War One. Charles Lindbergh, who, interestingly enough, was kind of a Nazi sympathizer. had his baby kidnapped by a German, and was murdered. So people did not like the Germans, Mike.
Mm,
People were like bigoted. There was more of a, an overall, like, people kind of were more tribal. People
yeah.
kept to their own type.
That's
People
the
were
word I was thinking
suspicious
of.
of their neighbors. People hated their, other people's neighborhoods. And certainly, obviously, black people were, looked down on very, very badly, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
More so than now, I would say. More so than now.
Well, yeah.
So it wasn't a good time. So anyway, Jack Kirby did go with Joe Simon. They fought World War II, and Jack Kirby did make a political statement in March of 1941 when they put out a comic book that featured a picture of what do you think it was, Mike?
I would imagine it was Captain America punching Hitler.
It was. That's exactly what it was, Mike. Have you been reading my notes?
No.
This is an article from the Daily Beast, Mike. The Daily Beast is one of the worst far left wing bullshit. Mike, I'm sorry for my language, but bullshit websites
Yeah.
that's ever been made. Captain America's creator spent a lifetime punching Nazis. How many Nazis how long did Jack Kirby live? He punched Nazis every day, Mike, for his whole life,
Wow. Must have been in good shape.
according to this article. The Second World War turned Jack Kirby, comics' greatest talent, into its first. Mike, he's not the greatest. You are.
Wait a second. Jack Kirby didn't draw that.
Didn't draw what?
The Captain America cover I'm thinking of. Was he drawing? Are you talking about a different one?
No, the one where he's punching a Nazi. Did he not
Yeah,
draw that cover?
That was Simon.
Joe Simon drew that cover?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Simon was a writer and an artist. Joe Simon was writer and artist, but Jack Kirby co-created Captain America with him.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a big deal. Now, people think it's more of a big deal than it was. If you talk to SJWs will tell you that basically Americans were split about Hitler. Some people were all for the genocide. Some people supported the idea of Great Britain, being strafed by these idiots. Some people supported the idea of France being invaded, of Poland being invaded. Some people like that. They like the idea. Some Americans love the idea of the Third Reich and Germany just ruling. Now,
I think Margaret Sanger was a big fan, right?
Maybe, yeah. Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood. Yeah. Well, there were some people. And again, famously, Charles Lindbergh was one of them. Charles Lindbergh came out and basically said, look, there are some weirdos in this country that are trying to keep us out of this war. They're trying to get us into this war. I mean, there's some people who are pushing us towards war. It's the FDR administration, which famously was elected by saying, we're going to keep you out of the war. It's the Jews. They're pushing us towards the war. And of course, Great Britain. These three elements, Charles Lindbergh said, are pushing us, driving us towards war with Hitler. And we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't get entangled in any foreign wars. It's just, it's not something that we need to do. This is Europe's problem. We need to stay out of it. These are all, this is a typical kind of voice that, you're going to hear at any time that this kind of situation pops up. And a voice that kind of might be heard before anyone understands the full implications of what Adolf Hitler was actually doing. Somebody who didn't know about Auschwitz, which was soon to be opened, and Dachau, and all these other death camps. This was before all that, and before we knew it. I mean, when American soldiers, when we stumbled with the Russians and the British on all of these death camps, it was a surprise. It was a sickening surprise to people. Certainly, to even Germans pretended to be surprised by it, Mike. I don't know if they were.
I think most Germans probably were. I mean, it's not like they were advertising it.
I think they were just kind of like, yeah, well, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, the same thing was happening in a way in Russia, and then people would just disappear, and the neighbors would rat out their neighbors for the most ridiculous, innocuous things, and then say that they were disloyal to the state, and then those people would just disappear. But nobody was Nobody was thinking, oh, yeah, we're going to go stick them in gas chambers, you know?
Yeah. I hope not. I hope
Yeah,
not,
I hope
Mike.
not too. Yeah.
So anyway, SJWs take this idea that Jack Kirby really like hated Hitler, and he should have because he was Jewish. And of course the Jews hate Hitler pretty badly and with good reason. Jack Kirby would definitely hated Nazis.
Yeah.
But see, SJWs are mentally ill, and they extrapolate this to mean that Jack Kirby would also hate normal people, Republicans, people who voted for Donald Trump, and they call him a social justice warrior. Now, Mike, what's a social justice warrior do? Does a social justice warrior, if Jack Kirby hates Hitler, and the reason why Jack Kirby hates Hitler is because of genocide and a bunch of other things, just in, the Hitler marching all over Europe, Hitler rounding up the Jews, putting them in, at first not concentration camps, but in ghettos, all this stuff. And Jack Kirby is Jewish. He has every reason, he has every right tribally, especially to hate Adolf Hitler. Do SJWs only care about themselves? Is that what this is? Is it just SJWs are about tribalism, or is the idea of being a social justice warrior to kind of care about other people as well? You know what I mean?
I honestly think, and I think the stats would bear me out, that they think they're better, and therefore the other needs their white knighting and their defense, because they just think they're better than everybody else. And there was that entire study at Yale that proved that left-leaning people, leftists, Democrats, they're the racists. They dumb down their language to speak to the other because they think that they're just too smart for minorities to understand what they're saying.
Right. Yeah. Well, in that case, Jack Kirby was not a social justice warrior. Jack Kirby just hated Nazis, real Nazis, because he interacted with them. And this idea that
who doesn't hate real Nazis?
I think everyone hates real Nazis.
Right.
I think Nazis and zombies are the only video game characters that you're allowed to feel good about blowing their heads off.
There you go. And Nazi zombies are very popular to kill.
The two of them together are the worst.
Yeah.
So there are very few people who don't hate Nazis, but there is a group of weirdos who conflate Republicans and Trump supporters with Nazis. And those people are trying to smear and slur this great creator, this guy who drew all of the comics that are in the rack behind me, all of the Fantastic Four books, created all these great characters. These people are trying to smear this great man by saying that he would hate and want to punch his fellow Americans, that he would be on a witch hunt against his fellow Americans who voted for Trump in order to accuse them of being Nazis, which is what SJWs do. And then the next step is to commit an act of violence against them. Now, I won't have this be said about Jack Kirby. I just won't have it be said because I love him. And I've loved his work my whole life. Even when the older boys on my street made fun of the way Jack Kirby drew flattened fingers that were squared off at the end, I said, F you. Mike, I said, F you to those older boys. It's very brave of me. Those boys, they can beat me up.
Big comic book reading bullies in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, they were my friends, but they were into Frank Miller. You know what I mean? And I was like, no, I like Jack Kirby. And I bought Marvel Saga. Okay. I bought the Marvel Saga reprint books in the 1980s. I don't know if you remember those.
No, I don't.
Okay, so Marvel Saga, basically, I don't know how long it lasted, but it was my favorite thing that Marvel put out. It was a clip art book, but it basically told the entire story. It went back to Fantastic Four #1, and even before that, and kind of told the story of the Marvel Universe in order. So you'd see, panels from Fantastic Four #1 and events that coincided with Fantastic Four #1. Now, I love that kind of continuity. I love that tight continuity, and I never missed an issue of Marvel Saga. And that's really where I began to see and love Jack Kirby's artwork. I had a few comic books that my dad bought me, originals. But Marvel Saga, I mean, I would go, I don't own an issue of Thor drawn by Jack Kirby. And then I'd see Thor fighting the Absorbing Man drawn by Jack Kirby, and I'd lose my mind. I had to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And the older boys would make fun of me. They'd say, look at those flattened fingers. Look at the way he draws. And I'd say, F you. F you. Could have caught a beating for that. But I stand up for my convictions, just like Jack Kirby did.
Good man.
Yeah. All right, so this is what SJWs are trying to do. SJWs have invaded the comic book industry. They've ruined the comic book industry, and they have adopted a deceased and beloved icon, and then they have embellished his war career. They've kind of pirated his war career, and then they've taken it to mean that Jack Kirby would agree with them, promote witch hunts against people who voted for or supported Donald Trump for president, and that he would call them Nazis, and that he would punch them in the face for them. Now, a couple of things. Jack Kirby was a very small man. I don't think he was going around punching too many people. And I don't think if he were around today at the age of 102, that he would be punching anybody. But even if so, I don't think Jack Kirby would agree. In fact, I'm sure that he wouldn't. Do you know why I'm sure that he wouldn't?
You knew him?
No. This is an actual quote from Jack Kirby that SJWs don't want you to see. Here's Gary Groth from the Comics Journal. He said, "How did you feel about communism then?" Now, this is Jack Kirby in, the 90s. Okay. Kirby says, "Oh, communism. That was a burning issue. It was an outrageous issue. To be termed a communist would damage your whole family, damage your whole world. Your friends wouldn't talk to you." I'm talking about other people because I wouldn't go near the stuff. Sure, I was against the Reds. I became a witch hunter. My enemies were the commies. I called them commies. In fact, Granny Goodness was a commie.
Love it.
Double Header was a commie. Mike, does this look like any SJWs you've ever seen in comics?
Love it.
Mike, if you dyed her hair red, if you colored her hair orange, would she look like an SJW in comics?
Yeah. Pretty good likeness.
Okay. So Jack Kirby hated.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see it now?
Yeah. And now I'll just let you get to the Fighting American.
Okay. So this was 1971. Somebody says John Birch Society. No, John Birch Society was the late 50s, early 60s. John Birch Society was wiped out after the Kennedy assassination. People thought that John Birch was the Birches were gonna take the blame for the Kennedy assassination, and Barry Goldwater wiped them out. No. This was 1971. Jack Kirby hated the commies during which administration? Go ahead, Mike.
71 would be Nixon.
The Richard Nixon administration. Thank you, Mike. What else was going on during the Nixon administration?
I was born.
I was not. But what else was going on in what front were we also fighting the commies in 1971?
Hollywood media?
God, Mike. The Vietnam War, Mike.
Oh, right.
Okay. So 1971, while American boys are fighting the Vietnamese,
right, I don't
well
have
into the war, under a Republican administration and unpopular.
Started by a Democrat, though.
So, started by Lyndon Baines Johnson, but what I'm saying is when Lyndon Baines Johnson initially started the conflict in Nam, or at least escalated the conflict in Nam with the Gulf of Tonkin incident, it wasn't as unpopular as it was in 1971. We're right on the border of All in the Family, Mike. You understand? Like that's the condition of the United States in 1971. And you've got Granny Goodness, you've got Jack Kirby creating anti-communist characters in 1971. Now, Mike, sure, he punched Hitler in 1941. He had a character that punched Hitler in 1941, and that's important. We'd all punch Hitler. But how did he feel about the communists? And how did he feel about the communists during, say, the Kennedy administration, Mike? Oh, here's Fantastic Four #1, Mike. Look at Sue Storm, the beautiful Sue Storm. What is she saying, Mike? Can you read this?
Ben, we've got to take that chance unless we want the commies to beat us. I never thought you would be a coward. Or you would be a coward.
Yeah.
A coward? Nobody calls me a coward. Get the ship. I'll fly her no matter what happens.
Good job, Mike.
Thanks. She kind of has
I'm sorry, go ahead.
She kind of has a Jackie O haircut.
Yeah, a little bit, right? It is a Jackie O haircut. That's what was popular in 1961. Fighting the commies. In other words, the SJWs. Beating the SJWs. Beating the SJWs, Mike. Mike, look at this. You want to see what this is what Jack Kirby thought a communist looked like, an SJW. It looks a little bit like Tim Doyle, if you want me to be honest with you. If you put glasses on this, a shock of ugly hair, and a stupid goatee, that is Tim Doyle.
It's a prophecy.
That's what he thought an SJW looked like.
And he was right.
Of course he's right. He's Jack Kirby. He's Jack King Kirby. Hey, that's a real noble thought, Galahad, but I got news for you. Kragoff ain't gonna buy it. Not when he thinks him and those apes are strong enough to lick us. They mean like beat us, Mike. They don't mean like...
I know.
Okay. And claim the moon for the commies. They're protecting the moon from the SJWs.
That's Ben saying that.
That's Ben. That's Ben saying that. Do you see Reed, who's the smartest one, arguing? No, Reed's pushing forward. Reed's like, you're absolutely right. The posture of Reed Richards in this panel is like, yeah, fuck the SJWs. Fuck Antifa. Antifa is not getting the moon.
That is correct.
They're not getting the moon. All right? These are all very important, Mike. What happens to Thor? Oh, look at Chris Hemsworth. Oh no, prisoner of the Reds.
Uh-oh.
Again, put glasses on this person, a beard and a mustache. It's my Soy Boy sketch. Prisoner of the Reds. Thor. Look at this, the fear of this cover. Look at the guns aimed at a hero. These are SJWs. These are decent Americans who are like, we just want a wall. We want you to build a wall. We wanted the president to build a wall.
We're gonna get our wall.
We need that wall, Mike.
We do need that wall.
Yeah. So Jack Kirby, of course.
Jack Kirby loved walls. I'm just saying.
Yeah, of course. Jack Kirby, of course, hated the commies. Captain America beating the living F out of SJWs. Look at them. This is by John Romita. Look at this. This is a John Romita Sr. Captain America crushing the communist hordes. See Captain America defy the communist hordes, or see Comicsgate defy the commie hordes.
It should say socialist.
Yeah, well, socialist is just one step away from communist.
That's right.
Just one step away.
A socialist is just a communist without a gun.
And they're all SJWs. Look at this. This is some guy typing to me and asking me where Cyberfrog is. Where's Cyberfrog? I stand with Captain America too. Captain America punched enemies of the United States of America. And Hitler was an enemy of the United States of America. He was an enemy of decency and goodness. We all stand with Captain America when he destroys communism.
That's right.
When he literally destroys communism, Mike.
God bless you, Cap.
Mike, am I right or wrong?
You're absolutely correct, sir.
So Jack Kirby, creator of all of these things, would punch SJWs. True or false?
I believe you are correct. I don't want to speak for the dead.
I do. I insist on it.
But yes, as of if consistency of message, I do agree.
Where's that Fighting American cover? I'm trying to find it now.
Fighting American was specifically created to fight commies. That was Jack's own, you know?
Yeah.
That was his own creation. He controlled that. He wasn't taken over by Marvel or anybody else. It was that's what Jack wanted. He wanted to fight mother flipping commies.
Did you say mother flipping commies?
I did say mother flipping commies.
That's right, Mike. All right. So here's our last message. This is what Jack Kirby would like to say to the SJWs who keep saying that he'd punch Republicans. Here it is. Beware commies, spies, traitors, and foreign agents. That's you, SJWs. Captain America, with all loyal free men behind him, is looking for you, ready to fight until the last one of you is exposed for the scum that you are. The end. The end. I stand with Captain America. I am here. I am here with Mike S. Miller, who sometimes mutes me because he's too much of a wiener to look at pictures of things that look like wieners. I stand with Mike S. Miller and all of you in Comicsgate. And I stand with Captain America. When we say beware, SJWs, beware. We are going to expose you for the scum that you are. The scum that you are.
I love that we're doing this while I'm doing drawing Lone Star, which is, you know, obviously my quote unquote Captain America, kicking Antifa butt, SJWs, kicking the butt of, in the spirit of Jack Kirby, kicking SJW butt.
Well, there it is.
As we discuss this.
A lot of people in the chat are feeling heroic. Feel free to take a screenshot of this panel. Feel free to take a screenshot of this and share it all over the place. We are going to expose you SJWs for the scum that you are. This is me right here, Mike.
Yeah.
That's
well,
you.
And that's the things. Marvel has stolen this historic communist fighting hero and bastardized him into what they are publishing today, and it makes me sad.
It does. That A, do you know what that A is on his forehead?
America.
No, it's wrapped around his whole helmet. It says MAGA. If you were to look all around his head, it says MAGA. MAGA.
I can see that.
Yeah. It don't stand for France. That's right, Bloodwork.
That's right.
Let me see these super chats here. Everyone's throwing money at me now. Technotoad, thanks for $10. Says, hey, EVS in the chat. I recently created a YouTube channel, Void Crow Art. Please check out my first time-lapse art video of Dr. Wiley when you have a chance. Roasts are welcome. Well, we would never roast you. We would never do that. Mike would.
Well, he was asking.
Yeah, Mike wants to roast you. I do not.
I don't criticize unless someone asks me for a critique. But if you're going to ask me, what the hell?
Mike, are you going to critique Cyberfrog?
Are you going to ask me to?
I'm just not going to ask you not to. You know, if you do, you do.
No, I have to specifically be asked to, because I just think that's bad form, especially as professionals. If we go after other people's art or whatever, you know, it's just like Richard, like stopping all that stuff because he's a professional now.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to criticize other people. He doesn't want to criticize other artists. I guess I don't blame him. I don't either.
Yeah,
I don't want to criticize other artists. I don't think that's.
If you ask me to.
Yeah. I will ask you to. I will ask you to go ahead and criticize. Criticize Cyberfrog. I think it needs to be done. Look at this, Captain America, Commie Smasher. Commie smasher, Mike.
Amen.
These are better times, man.
Yeah. Commies should always be smashed.
Doing this. Mike, if I ever go back to the mainstream, they're gonna say, "Well, what do you want to do?" I'm gonna say, "Well, I want to bring back an old magazine, an old comic book that hasn't been done for a while. I want Mike to join me in this. We'll do it together. It's gonna be called Men's Adventures. Men's Adventures. Women not allowed. Men's Adventures. Well, why aren't you working it with women? I don't know, because it's Men's Adventures, Mike.
Because women don't read comic books?
It's kind of, well, I mean, they do, but this one is Men's Adventures.
No, but as a general statement, the market is still almost exclusively male. There are a handful of women, percentage-wise, but...
Mike, don't say handful and women in the same sense when you're a Trump supporter. You know what I mean?
There's a binder full of women.
Binderful, yeah.
There you go.
People think of grabbing, you know. There's a handful of women. Yes, we know Trump supporter. We know that.
You got to lean into it.
You do. You got to lean into it, and you got to lean into the "Hey Mike" jokes.
No, we don't.
People like them.
No.
Mike, people like them. Are you being serious when you're saying I'm really triggered by the "Hey Mike" jokes?
I'm just.
They built a whole website, Mike.
Yeah, and that was the bridge too far for me.
Why? Do you know who did it?
Yes, I do.
All right. I'm sorry. Who told you?
He admitted it on Twitter.
Oh, I was taking the blame for it. Okay.
Oh,
no, I had nothing to do with it. I had zero to do with it. I was surprised by it. I swear to God, I thought Edwin was going to blow his stack laughing.
I know. I thought he was going to have a stroke, man.
He was laughing so hard at that. I'm like, that joke. I mean, to be honest with you, the "Hey Mike" joke is about a month old now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it got stale a month ago. Edwin is just now laughing at it. Laughing hard. He wasn't laughing when I was actually doing it, and I was coming up with new and inventive ways to introduce it to you. But yeah.
Hey, can you hold on? I got a UPS. Maybe it's something cool.
I hope it is. Liam Gray says, progressives are powerless. The future is common sense and prosperity. MAGA 2020. Matt Horkin says, happy Monday, EVS. Shrug Frog gay. Kick V. Well-read user says, hey, E, are you still going to do more tiers for Cyberfrog? Yes, I am. It's just a matter of when. And I guess what I'm going to do is I guess I'm going to extend the campaign a month. I think. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to... Or maybe I'll... Do I do a whole other campaign for these or what? Nasser Rabati says, can we please get Trixie Kane to 20K? Yes, I am, Dwight. Thanks for a $2 donation. Donnie Thumbenfist says, back sovereign on Indiegogo. Jussie Smollett is here. He says, heard you were coming to town, you beautiful human sunbeam. Let's go. Let's get some Subway while I welcome you to Fandom Menace Country. Yes to the welcome. No to Subway. Subway is really gross.
That's disgusting. Subway is the worst sandwich, but I don't know how it's so popular.
Subway turns fat guys into pedophiles. Did you know that?
There's always that.
Yeah. That's what I learned from Subway. I learned that, you know, dude's fat and then he becomes a pedophile. He's skinny, though.
It's something about the bread. That bread turns into glue as soon as you put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like white glue. It just dissolves into this disgusting paste. And I'm like,
yeah.
That must be the ingredient that turns you into a pedophile.
I would imagine so. It would have to be something disgusting. I would prefer Jersey Mike's. Subs are good.
Yes. You know?
Yes. That's where I go. Subway is just garbage. It's all old meat.
Jersey Mike's out here now?
You have Jersey Mike's in San Diego?
Yeah.
Nice.
We got all the good food out here, man. Yeah,
they're going to replace they're definitely going to replace Subway. They've got to. Yeah. Subway's disgusting, dude. It's so... It's like... Subway is McDonald's when you have the choice of... If you have the choice between McDonald's and then something like Wayback Burgers, you know what I mean? Like, why would you go to McDonald's? You know, Wayback Burgers and get a good hamburger. Why would you... If you... Like, the only reason to eat Subway is if, like, you're in a small room where the only thing to eat is a Subway restaurant. and you
Or if
can't get out.
you're starving and there's nothing else open anywhere.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it because I look in there and I look at the meat and I'm like, that's not real. I'm like, that's not real meat. Darth Bobcat says, be more creative. Find penises shaped like objects. Now that would get around Mike's rule. Jonathan Fitzpatrick says, Mike, is there any truth to the rumors that you left Twitter voluntarily because you kept getting Dixie wrecked? Dixie wrecked. Oh, I get it. You don't. It's Dixie wrecked. Sorry, Mike. Let's see. People are telling me don't bring pedo garbage to Mike's channel. No Michael Jackson stuff. RPG Nook says, would you say you're related to the Kirby toe thumb style? I never thought of that. I never thought of that before, but that could have been why I was cool with it. Like other people were making fun of Jack Kirby's the way he draws his fingers, Mike, and I was just like, I don't think it's that big of a deal because I have fingers that look like that, Mike. You know,
did it good too.
Yeah, I went. Yeah, those look like my hands. So what are you talking about? You know, took it personally.
Yeah, it is interesting. You can look at the way people draw hands, and more often than not, they're just drawing their own hands. Because one of my friends has some like super crazy long pointy fingers, and like every time he draws, I'm like, oh, those are your hands. It's like everybody doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I think I drew everybody with toe thumbs. You know, having a long fingernail there seems weird to me. Like your thumb should have a more rectangular turned sideways nail on it, but that's just because I'm a freak. You know, like if the Elephant Man was never saw. Well, let me see, Mike. Put
that's
that
a thumb.
That's not normal, Mike.
It's normal for me. It's my thumb.
All right. If the Elephant Man were drawing people and he never saw other people and never bothered to really look at what other people look like, it'd be weird.
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of what I'm going through.
The Elephant Man's vision of what a perfect family would look like. Pretty disturbing.
Well, yeah, it would be. They'd all look like he'd be the handsomest, though. You know, some people
with an extra large pair of bulges on her forehead, so that it looked like she had an extra.
Yeah. You know, when you're hanging out. Well, wait a second. When you're hanging out with people, you want to be the best looking person that you're hanging out with, right? I mean, you want to have ugly friends to make yourself look better.
I want my wife to be the best looking person in the picture.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about the guys though. Let's say you're single, you're out there looking at girls. That's when you're single. So you want to hang out with guys that don't look as good as you. For me, that's easy. Now, when you're drawing though, do you draw people who don't look as good as you? No, you don't. You draw handsome people.
Yeah.
All right, so that doesn't work. I was going to say the Elephant Man would draw uglier people than him, but I guess he wouldn't. He would draw better looking people than him.
Yeah.
Just barely, though. All right. Rodent Slayer says, a Song of Mice and Fur is live on Indiegogo. Wholesome, anti-commie, fun, all hail. King anti-commie Kirby would punch an SJW, Mike. He would punch SJWs right in their neck beards.
What would be a good hashtag for that? Kirby punches commies?
Jack Kirby would punch an SJW so hard the soy would come out of his eyeballs. He would punch SJWs so hard, dude.
Now, where is this all coming from? Is there
what?
It's that article, huh?
Yeah, that article, that Daily Beast article came out, and of course, SJWs all read it, and they all immediately adopted it as the programming. That's where it all came from, was this Jack Kirby was the first SJW. He would punch Nazis. Jack Kirby, one time, according to a story, he was drawing upstairs, and he heard that there were some Nazis downstairs, so he went out and beat them up. Surely that's exactly what happened.
You know what we should do? Everybody should grab one of those images or search another one of Kirby with one of those great anti-communist saying, and do a hashtag like Kirby hates socialism. And then just paste every time one of those SJWs
No,
brings
just
up.
say SJWs, not even socialism. Just yeah. Uh absolutely.
Yeah.
SJWs. Kirby would punch SJWs right in the face.
We're not targeting anyone in particular. We're targeting a stupid idea, so we can get out there in mass and just blanket Twitter with this stuff.
Yeah. Jack Kirby would throw Captain America's shield right into the dick of a feminist. Right into the dick, Mike. Sorry to use that filthy language again. But he would, and it would go whang when it hit it. Big sound effect. Mike, it would go whang when it hit the feminist in the dick.
It wouldn't go dong.
It could have gone dong. Yeah, dong. As it bounced off. All right, so Liam Grice says, it's almost like Kirby hated socialists and commies. Yeah, it is. It is almost like that. Kirby hated witch hunts. He hated witch hunts. He says he was a witch hunter at one point, but then he learned to not like witch hunts anymore. And that's further evidence that Kirby would hate SJWs because that's what they do.
All the time. All day, every day.
Yeah.
They could just go get jobs and, take care of their families, but instead they're on constant witch hunt alert. So
it's true. Liam Gray, okay, I read that one. Charlie's London says history doesn't lie. SJWs make all the noise, but don't even pay for the stuff they advocate. Comics fought Hitler and communism. Comicsgate beat SJWs. We did. We are the movement that rose up and destroyed SJWs, and they still don't like it. When are they going to like it?
Jack Kirby would have punched Bernie Sanders. Legitimately. Jack Kirby would have decked that clown.
See, that would have been a fair fight because Jack Kirby would be 102 and he'd still be younger than Bernie Sanders. I can picture that. Techno Toad. Okay, I read that one. Benjamin Random says socialism equals diet communism. That's kind of true. That's a good way to look at it, Mike. It's like there's Diet Coke.
Yeah, it's a socialist is a communist without a gun. And I learned this from, not from some right-wing thing. I used to watch a lot of iTunes University lectures and stuff, and there was a socialist, out and out socialist professor. I don't know if he was from Columbia or Yale or something like that, and he was explaining to his class the difference between socialists and communists, and he's just like, socialists want to get to their egalitarian utopia through the democratic process, and a communist wants to get to the exact same end at the point of a gun. So literally, a socialist is just a communist who's not willing to shoot someone. As soon as they're willing to shoot someone to progress their socialist agenda, they become a communist.
Yeah, it's true. Mike, there are some comics that make me feel uncomfortable from the 1940s. All right, let me run through some of these, and you tell me if these make you feel comfortable or uncomfortable. All right? You tell me, Mike, which ones are good and which ones are not good. Say good, not good. Okay?
Shazam?
There you go.
You start with Shazam?
No, right here. This one. Good or not good?
That's to keep you from tipping off his lordship that all America and most of Europe is going to see and hear the next little episode. Who is he spanking? And are those communist stars?
It's a little bald man with his hand on backwards. His hand is on backwards, I think. Or that's someone else's arm that's feeling his bottom.
Wait a second. No, that's... What the heck? That is a right hand. That looks weird, doesn't it? That is a right hand, though. That's the right hand.
I guess you're right. Wait, is it?
It is. At the thumb. Look at that thumb.
Okay, yeah.
It just looks really weird.
It does look weird. It looks like somebody reaching out to feel the valley in between his buttock cheek.
Yeah.
That just stroke it a little bit here. He's a bald little man and he's getting a spanking from this.
Yeah, look at all those spankings. Spankings was very popular back then.
Well, I like this one. This one I have no problem with for some reason.
Because you'd let Mary Marvel spank you too.
Oh, of course. Yes. This one's interesting because this is Ben Grimm cucking Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Hey, Rubberhead, you want I should catch her for you? Benjamin J. Grimm, if you don't get out of my way this instant, I'll never speak to you again. Look at him. He's like, do you want me to spank your wife?
Unbeknownst to Ben at the time, Invisible Girl is like one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe.
Oh, yeah. She could have easily. I mean, she didn't have her force field powers yet, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Still learning.
That is the thing. Mike, this would piss you off. If you had a friend over and you guys were goofing around, ha, 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 and then he grabbed your wife and it was like, do you want me to punish your wife for you, Mike?
No. Yeah. That would not be good.
Yeah. There'd be problems with that.
Now, if it was Johnny doing it, since they're brother and sister.
No,
whatever.
That's weird too.
A little less weird, though.
Yeah.
Especially the older brother. Although he's the younger brother, isn't he?
Yeah. All right, so more women getting spankings from delighted older men. This is the patriarchy, Mike.
For some reason, that one doesn't bother me at all.
That doesn't bother me either. That just seems natural to me. This seems weird, but I like it. Ready? This is weird, but I like it. Captain Marvel Jr., go get Daddy's belt. Whipping Hitler.
And Hirohito.
Yeah. But he's hitting Hitler. Go get Daddy's belt.
Gosh, that's just a great piece of work. Who did that?
That's a really good likeness on Hitler.
Yeah.
You know, it looks just like him. I agree. It's a little stiff, but I still this is a little bit kind of. Do you think he used models?
Maybe.
He might have used models for this.
Well-referenced uniforms. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I agree. Now, this is one of my favorites as well. I like Batman beating this redhead.
As John would say.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, especially since there's a dude taking pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's the best part. He's all, this is going to be on Instagram.
Now, some people are going to get mad at me. SJW Spider-Man is going to run this whole segment.
That's fine.
Don't get mad at me. Comic Book School says this is great panels collection. Don't get mad at me about it. People agree with me that this is great. All right, so let's look at some more spankings here. Okay, we've got... this doesn't bother me either. This is weird right here. What do you think of this? Whoa. Mary Marvel likes to whip people's asses.
Yeah.
He's like, whap, whap. And this guy's like, yow. And Captain Marvel, who was just a child in a man's body. This is a weird scenario.
Yeah, and he's the one saying, fresh, aren't you? Well, there's more. There's one way to make my point clear. Go ahead, Mary. So he was apparently getting fresh with Mary.
Yeah.
So yeah, Captain Marvel is letting her have her come up, or give that guy his comeuppance.
Is it okay to do this to an alien? Like, here's Supergirl whipping an alien who likes it. Look at him. Don't you feel my super spanking? He's like, nope, not a thing. Ha ha ha. See, our asses are invulnerable. Mike, this makes me feel weird.
So one of Supergirl's powers is the super spanking.
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's hey, you learn something new every day.
We need to do more spankings. We need to do more of Wonder Woman getting spanked by
I may change Lone Star so that I have a spanking in here.
Can we do that? Can we bring back spankings? Mike, this is hot. Don't even say, look. All right, here's Wonder Woman on all fours while fat women are whipping her with a brush. And then babies are cheering in the audience.
Oh, you know what they're doing? They're body shaming her.
What is this?
They're body shaming. They're like, how dare you have a perfect body? Why can't you be fat and misshapen like us?
Yeah, but what are the babies with their rattles? Why are they cheering?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't get this.
Comes to mind at all. It's so bizarre.
It's pretty tough.
Why does that one baby have a giant nipple on his head?
Oh, yeah. I see it. It's pretty tough being a grown down lady slave. Oh, grown down instead of grown up. Ladies slave. a lot of stuff to explore for
Yeah.
Gal Gadot, in future movies. True or false?
Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure that she'd probably want to go there.
Really?
Hmm.
All right. Well,
You could ask. Tweet it to her.
I will.
Say, hey,
Yeah.
might I suggest for the next episode? Going back to the source.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, why not?
That's
Why
right.
not?
Hey, the Bible does say, spare the rod, spoil the child. So
Yeah. Spoil a bunch of children who are watching and cheering in the audience.
it's a
I
good
don't know
one.
how I feel about it, to be honest with you. Hey, people aren't thrilled about the Joker movie.
I think it looks good.
Yeah, SJWs don't like it. They think, now this never would have occurred to me. They think that the Joker movie is an opportunity to praise white male incels.
What?
That's what they're saying.
Praise?
Yeah, because he's sympathetic. You know what I mean?
Well, it's his origin story.
Right, but it does it seem inopportunely timed? Because first of all, he's a clown.
Yeah.
Okay, which is right now it seems to be a white supremacist meme. I
It
didn't
is?
know that. Yeah, I'm hearing that. I don't know what it is exactly, but it is a new white supremacist like 4chan kind of meme. And then of course the Joker is white, and of course he is kind of what you would call an incel.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would being a white supremacist make Joker any more of a despicable human being than he is already?
No, but it all kind of depends on how you present the Joker in the movie, because they might not be. How do you present the lead in your movie, right? As being completely unsympathetic. Like the Joker is the lead, he's the protagonist
Yeah.
in this movie.
But that's what I'm saying. It is an origin story. It's like if you told Hitler's origin story and you start him as a sweet innocent child, and then you watch whatever it is that corrupted him into being the greatest monster in history, you still have that origin story where at one point in his life he's sympathetic, because we all start out innocent children,
Yeah.
and then life corrupts us one way or the other. And so this is the Joker going from some sad little dude who's taking care of his apparently diminished mother in some way, and then what pushes him down those stairs, metaphorically or otherwise. And then
Well,
he just,
what was it with Hitler? Hitler was a failed artist who turned to writing.
I think socialism corrupted Hitler, actually. Just like they do in colleges today. All those Antifa people, they don't have horrible stories. They've been corrupted by socialist teachers telling them that, teaching them that envy, this idealism of envy, is how to make the world a better place. And it's just so skewed, it turns them into bad guys who think that they're good guys.
Yeah. I don't know. People talk about wanting to go back in time and kill Hitler in his crib. Is that what you would do, Mike?
No, he was a sweet innocent child in his crib. You gotta get him right before they pick him up to start speaking for the Nazi Party. Because
Yeah, like you would have adopted him, Mike, and you would have taught him to play video games next to you while you were drawing.
a better artist, so he wouldn't have gotten rejected from art school.
Mike, are you a better artist than Hitler?
Hell yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Be honest, be objective.
Yeah. My daughter just came in here showing me some of his art, and it's like he was good, but he could have been better.
Hitler was good?
Yeah, his art.
Okay. Let's clarify that.
It wasn't
He wasn't good, Mike.
Wasn't Rembrandt, but You know, he probably could have sold some paintings at the flea market.
Yeah. John Malin says Mike is wrong.
Not.
John Malin is saying that Mike's wrong. I don't know. I don't have an opinion about it, but John came in hot right there.
That's because John doesn't like the Joker story. He doesn't like Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the Joker here. Let's talk about what these weirdos are saying about the Joker. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but here's some of the thoughts that people are having on it. You know, and these SJWs, they know what they're doing. Joker. Finally, the movie we've all been waiting for, the incel origin story. At what point do critics actually critique the impact of the films that are objectively well made and expertly executed? It may be a well acted and beautifully shot film, but it isn't part of critique questioning the choice of making a white dude killer sympathetic. Read The Room. And then there's this meme. Repeat after me. Mass shooters are not disproportionately mentally ill. They're disproportionately white and male.
They're disproportionately Democrats.
That's true.
Actually, I think they're all Democrats.
Are they all of them?
I don't know of any that aren't.
Here's a guy with a cartoon avatar of himself with a bald head. Joker, a film where you're supposed to sympathize with a mediocre white man radicalized into deranged violence, will no doubt be appealing to the wrong audience for the worst reasons. They're gonna boycott Joker.
Aren't these? I'm pretty sure these are the people who want to see films about about Muslim extremists and sympathizing with them as terrorists because of whatever they went through. Oh, because big mean white America bombed them as children or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess it just depends on what psychotic they want to sympathize with.
Oh, Francis Lancer gave me $5. He says Clown World is an alt-right meme because the world is so messed up, literally run by SJW clowns, honk honk. Oh, so the clowns are leftists, they're SJWs. I thought they were dressing up like clowns, but it's the SJWs that are saying that are the clowns. I got it. Okay. Joe Reed here says, I suppose it does make a certain amount of sense that fashioning the Joker as an incel would appeal to them. I got to be honest. I haven't heard too much praise for the movie from people that these people would refer to as incels. I just hear people going, yeah, it looks all right. Have you heard people just flipping out saying they can't wait to see the Joker?
Flipping out? No. I look forward to it. I love Joaquin Phoenix as an actor, and I think honestly, I don't think as the Joker, I'm not thinking of the movie necessarily in the context of the DC universe. I'm thinking of it. I'm just looking at the trailer as like a cool like horror type movie,
Yeah. I'm probably not going to even see it.
Have you seen Shazam yet?
No. I want to see Shazam. But you know what? Here's the way I am with movies these days, especially superhero movies. Superhero movies are like bread. If you don't see them when they're fresh, they get stale. Like, you just toss them out. Like, I'm not going to see Captain Marvel now. And not just because it's Captain Marvel. Because what am I going to watch it on TV? I have better things to watch.
Yeah.
The only reason for me to see Captain Marvel is to make a review about it and tell people about it. And it's too late. And Captain Marvel is the same way. I actually want to see that, but
Shazam.
Shazam. Yeah, Shazam is kind of like that, but I actually do want to see it, but it might be too late already. The opening weekend's over. Everybody's already seen it and talked about it. What am I going to do? Watch it on TV? I bought the Meg, and I actually do want to see the Meg. I got 10 minutes into it, got really excited about what I was seeing, and then just went and live streamed with you. And I never finished watching the movie.
Yeah, it's hard to find the time.
You know what I'm watching right now? I mean, I have a radio program. First of all, I subscribe to this guy on YouTube who collects JFK stuff, and I'm a big JFK fan. Love. He's my favorite president, even more so than Reagan. Love him. And
But that's just because he nailed Maryland.
Oh, it's just part of it. Yeah, it's part of the mystique. I like it. And this guy, what he does is he's collected all of the media that surrounded his assassination, and he's got like, hey, here's 48 hours in a row of radio from Cincinnati, Ohio, on the morning dawn of November 22nd, all the way to the end of November 23rd. 1963. So
Okay.
You're listening to it, and it's like there's Christian. By the way, this, Mike, I was going to call you about this because I wanted you to hear it. In Cincinnati in 1963, they had a radio show on. I mean, the radio station was clearly compromised by communists, and I really wanted, because it was like, and now it's time for practical Christianity here in Cincinnati. And Mike, it was a Christian show that was compromised by communists.
Of course.
It was practical, Mike.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Bible believing. Sometimes the Bible is impractical. It is practical Christianity. And I laughed my head off, dude. And it was commies. And they were talking about how the GOP, like there's no election in Mississippi, because there's no difference between the Democrat Party and the Republican Party in Mississippi. So how is an election valid? So any election that goes on in Mississippi is invalid. And I went, what the this is a church program. And then they sang, what a friend we've got in Jesus. He's not your friend.
He's my friend.
No, he's not, Mike. He's your savior.
And my friend.
Mike, that's me, not Jesus. I'm your friend and savior, Mike.
Jesus says he calls us friends.
Really? What did he say?
Read your Bible, boy. He says, henceforth I call you friends, because friends, if it were not so, I would not tell you. I can't remember the exact scripture, but he calls us friends because he tells us what he's going to do.
Well, I don't want to listen to the Bible. I've got no time for it. But I did find this radio show from Cincinnati in the 1960s. So I'll listen to that a little more.
Okay. All right.
And see where they put us. Iwazaru says, Jesus friend zoned us all. It's true.
True.
Blasphemous, but true. All right, Mike. Avengers Endblane says, I don't need an origin story for the Joker. It's fairly straightforward. He's just an incel. Why do they do this, Mike?
Well, isn't he talking to a pretty young girl in the actual story? I mean, just because he's taking care of his mother, I mean, they don't even know the story yet. Just because he's taking care of his mother, he's an incel?
Yeah.
Now you got me defending the Joker. He's not a character.
Norman Bates was an incel.
Yeah.
And he turned out all right. All right, here's some more. Oh God, is Joker just incel terrorist the movie? These are all women, by the way. Mostly all women.
I think they're wham.
Whammon? They're whammons. By the way, I called them whammon in a video, and somebody corrected my pronunciation. Somebody said it's not whammon like it rhymes with ramen. No, did I say whammon? Ramen. They said it doesn't rhyme with ramen. It's like women, and he phonetically spelled it out like WIMMEN. And I was like, oh, my bad. Well, I'm from Jersey, I mispronounce things.
Hey, you know what? PewDiePie has like 90 million followers, and he pronounces it whammon, so he wins.
Yeah, I agree. PewDiePie should be the authority on how to pronounce things related to women. This person says, it'd be nice if Joker portrayed a white man being warped by white supremacy and misogyny into an entitled shithead who brings his misfortunes on himself, or imagines his own persecution and then descends into terrorism. But I really doubt that'll be the case. Well, DC's got to protect their characters, They got to protect their terrorist supervillains.
Yeah. I honestly, when they announced this movie, I was against it because I'm like, the reason Wolverine became less interesting was because we found out his origin, and I always thought that was the same thing we had with the Joker is if we don't have an origin, he just becomes this force of chaos, right? But I do want to see it regardless. I'll just divorce it. I'll just say it's not part of the actual DC universe. Because Joaquin Phoenix is great. John Malin is completely wrong. Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor, and I think it'll be a good movie.
Yeah, I liked him in Walk the Line.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and Gladiator. He was so creepy in Gladiator.
Oh, I don't think he was creepy, except for the incest part. But the part where he was like, thumbing down gladiators, like I could do that. Like that's what I want to do. This person says, it's increasingly difficult for me to stomach the never-ending glorification of the Joker, aka a deranged terrorist portrayed by a white man, amid a culture of rampant toxic masculinity, especially after James Holmes literally dressed as him when he carried out the Aurora massacre. Well, listen, fine, I'm going to dress like Rachel Maddow and blow up the Washington Memorial or Monument. And that'll be the end of Rachel Maddow, right? Or wrong? Is that how it works?
I think they just, I don't know. Would they be pleased if they turned Joker into a minority character? Because it seems like them complaining has an awful lot to do with him being a white man. So,
yeah, but I'm just saying that, first of all, Mike, let's address issues one at a time. I'm saying that they're saying James Holmes destroyed the Joker for all time, okay? Because he dressed like the Joker when he committed a massacre. So if this is the case, anyone could dress like anyone, like any character, and commit a massacre and then destroy that character for all time. Now, I'm not saying I want to commit a massacre.
I didn't even remember that he dressed like the Joker.
Mike, I do want to commit a massacre. I changed my mind.
Well, there's some things I really don't want to say on YouTube.
No. You'll like this when you hear it, Mike. Stay with me here. Mike, I want to massacre these geese that are all over the lake near my house.
Geese?
They're geese. Now, I don't know why we have homeless people who are starving and we still let these geese shit all over the sidewalk. Mike, do you know what geese poop looks like?
No, and I imagine I don't want to.
All right, it's wet and it's like it's about the size of say a AA battery. Okay? And it's everywhere.
Ugh.
And you go and you step in it. It's not good and it's slippery. And it smells awful.
Do you have to have a license to shoot those things?
What I'm saying is this. If the government doesn't get involved at some point, I will. And that is a threat. Okay? It's a threat on YouTube. I will massacre all those geese, but what I will do, and I will do it dressed like Rachel Maddow to ruin her show. And what I will do is I will feed the geese meat to the homeless. Good or bad? Do the math on that. Add up my sins versus my virtues, and let me know where I come out. All right, hang on, Mike.
I imagine geese are pretty tasty.
Yeah. All right, but look, here's on the plus column. Here's the net benefit. The geese are pooping everywhere, so we'd be eliminating that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be feeding the homeless. Okay, so no poop, feeding the homeless.
Yeah.
The negative is me going in with a machine gun and shooting wild animals. That's bad. And then doing it just as Rachel Maddow might be questionable. So if you do the math, is it good or bad what I've done?
Sorry, dude. I really can't picture you dressed as Rachel Maddow.
Oh, I got to do it then. Mike, I'm pretty good at cosplay.
Yeah, but Rachel Maddow looks like a emaciated 12-year-old boy.
Yeah. Joe Public says bad optics, dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't
Yeah.
like my idea. Other people are saying
killing the geese. Go for it, man. Do
you
your
like
thing.
the killing the geese thing.
Kill the geese.
They're not endangered. They're just endangered of pissing me off.
Yeah.
They're geese.
They're food.
Everywhere.
Geese are food, not friends.
They're not. Oh, they're not friends. They're not friends.
And if you do this, could you get some dry ice, pack up some thigh meat, and send it to me?
Possibly. You want some geese meat?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Well, I've had a goose before, and I got to be honest with you, it's not that great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's chewy.
I love duck, so I just kind of assume it would be similar.
No, it's not the same. Duck, I love duck too. I'll go and get, if I go buy Thai food, if we're having Thai food, I'll order duck, crispy duck, man. It's like,
Yeah. But what about the Christmas Carol, the Christmas goose?
That was a duck.
No, it was a goose. Go
What
get
did
the Christmas goose. The one that's as big as me.
Oh, Christmas Carol. I thought you meant A Christmas Story, which you already said you didn't see.
Oh, Christmas Carol.
Okay, Christmas Story ended with a duck in a Chinese restaurant.
Oh.
Christmas Carol, yeah. Christmas people used to love to eat geese, but
Right.
I'm just saying they don't do it too much and anymore. And I bought one and it was inedible. Now maybe I've only bought one, but maybe I'll get a better one next time. I don't know.
Maybe it's how you prepare it.
Yeah.
It's all in the preparation.
Well, come over and cook it.
I'll
Mike,
be right.
you are so all right, you can help cook the geese. All right, so that's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that this all came from the idea of James Holmes getting to ruin the Joker just because of what he did. And honestly, James Holmes should be erased from history, and whatever he did and however he did it stylistically, his style of the massacre, him trying to be cool, should not be remembered. It should not affect the Joker.
It's good because I didn't remember. I remember it out. I didn't remember he was dressed as the Joker.
I do remember it because I think about it when I go to the movies. Like when I'm sitting in the movie theater, I always look at the exit, and I think, what if some jackass dressed like the Penguin comes in and starts shooting? Like, what would I do?
Right.
You can't bring a gun into a movie theater.
Apparently you can.
Well, if you come in the back way. I'm saying that legally you can't bring a gun into a movie theater.
Well,
so I mean, you're a sitting goose.
Yeah. But they don't have they don't have anything to check you. Not where I live.
They don't check you?
Do they check you?
I don't know.
When was the last time you went to the movie theater?
Well, I'm just saying I'm trying to think of at what point. Like, is there a metal detector that I walk through that I'm not aware of?
No. I could totally bring my gun in the movie theater. It wouldn't be. I don't have a carry permit, so I can't.
All right. Well, in any case, yeah, I don't want to. I do think about it. James Holmes is one of the, one of the guys, one of the killers of the last 20 years that still kind of resonates. And I still think about that because I'm like, the idea of being in a movie theater and being defenseless in the dark, and then some jackass, like if he kicked open the door and it would surprise you. You wouldn't be ready for it, and it would be too late. That's why I'm not going to the movies ever again. That's why I didn't go see Captain Marvel.
That's why. That's why you didn't see Shazam.
That's why I'm not going to go see Shazam.
Yeah.
I'm worried about somebody just like Mr. Mind coming in. Mr. Mind.
Is it impossible for you to get a carry permit there?
I just have to show. It'd be easy for me because I just have to go to the police station and show them that I have cause to need to arm myself, and I do. I would just have to say, go to Twitter and look up Cyberfrog on Twitter. Do a search of Cyberfrog. Try Techno Toad as well, or whatever it is. Look up my name and put various asterisks where the vowels were. Run a search. These people are crazy, and they actually do want to hurt me because of Cyberfrog. Mike, they don't want to hurt you because of Lone Star.
Well, if they did, I could get a carry permit.
Well, anyway, you can get a carry permit in New Jersey under those circumstances.
Yeah, that's the only you have to show that your life is at risk here. So stupid. It's a Second Amendment. I really wish they would end that. Because I would strap everywhere I went, man.
That's something Trump should do, is just make universal carry. Universal carry is one thing that Trump needs to do. You know, either you have the right to arm yourself or you don't. And
right.
Going state to state is really, really strange. It just puts certain states at more risk.
I hear you. I agree 100%.
All right, so here's Bat Gay. And it's up, and a gay, which is clever, Mike. It's clever. It says, and I'm not going to do the soy voice for this. You know why, right? Because people hear the soy voice and they go, you're being homophobic and making fun of gays. Wrong. That is not a gay voice. None of the gay guys that I know, and maybe I know too many, Mike. Maybe I know a few, more than my share. And it's none of your business, Mike. Because some of the people I know say, oh, you're doing that soy voice, and it's because you hate the gays. No, I love the gays. That's not a gay voice. It's the voice of a male feminist who chokes on soy milk. They get all effeminate, and the reason why they get all effeminate is because they're trying to show the women that they prey on that they're harmless. And then so they go, woohoo! I'm really hoping that the Joker. Listen, that's how they talk, because they're trying to convince a woman that they are about to sexually assault that they are not going to sexually assault them. They're trying to convince women that they are their friends and not, sexually predatory. That's why, Mike.
I know. I don't disagree.
All right.
Disagree.
So this is Bat Gay, up and a gay, and he says, I'm really hoping that the Joker communicates that the single most dangerous person to America is the fragile white male. Like what?
The fragile white male.
Like sucks, you're getting bullied, dude, but still doesn't mean I'm going to sympathize with your terrorism. Mike, so
you should never sympathize with the terrorism.
No.
I mean, at some point, regardless of what happens to him, he's making the decision. Either that or he just simply has a psychotic break. And I think that is probably the case with the Joker, at least from the way this looks. He just has a psychotic break and divorces his life from reality. And I don't know, man. Once you go that crazy, you either put him down or put him in a padded room for the rest of their life.
That's what you do.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike? Does this make you want to see Joker more or less?
What exactly?
The SJWs that I'm showing you.
Oh. Kind of more.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you want to see it to kind of be defiant.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I want to like it even more.
Yeah, like I right. I want to actually wear the t-shirt,
Yeah.
Fragile. I'm a fragile white male. By the way, some people in the chat were like, I don't like this whole thing about Ethan shooting geese. I don't like Ethan shooting geese. And I got to tell you something, Mike. It's not fragile white males that are the problem. Mike, this is going to convince you. Imagine you're a fragile white male trying to golf. And all of a sudden, the geese come in because I didn't shoot them and feed them to homeless people. This goose is rocking this guy's day. He is up his back hole. This goose is legitimately up his butthole, Mike.
You know what the worst part is?
What?
That's a Canadian goose.
Oh, it's disgusting.
If they would all just stay in Canada, it'd be fine.
This goose has his beak right up his crack, Mike. And look at him laughing about it as this guy's on the ground going, he has been sexually assaulted. The goose is laughing. And he's running. He's like, don't hurt me. The goose is like, F you, incel. Boom, up your butthole. And then laughing as he's rolling around the ground, feeling he's in pain.
That goose should be made into pate.
A lot of people still doubt my ideas. A lot of people don't believe that I am looking out for people's best interest. This guy, look at his face down here. Can I zoom in on this anymore? Let me see. Like, this is as far as I can go. Mike, look at his face as he's being penetrated.
Why is there a goose up his butt?
Why is there a goose up his butt, Marcel?
We don't, because he's a goose. Because geese,
he's a freaking goose.
Geese are horrible, dude. They are horrible, horrible creatures. And again, we go, okay, so he got him. He totally jacked him. And then look at his laughing face. The goose is like, you told EVS not to shoot us.
No.
That's what they're saying right now. That could be, hey, the thing that's up your butt right now, that could have been on a plate yesterday and fed to a homeless dude. Now he's sodomizing you with his beak. Don't ever doubt me again.
Oh, geese. What are you going to do?
I don't know. Shoot them, I guess. That's what I would say. I would say shoot them. Dress like Rachel Maddow. Get a machine gun. Shoot the geese.
I don't think a machine gun is going to be that accurate.
Yeah, but there are a lot of them, Mike. I got a lot to do.
You need a better solution.
What's your recommendation? Exactly. Landmines?
Sawed-off shotgun.
Sawed-off shotgun.
Because
how would you, Mike? The idea is the meat, though.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But it would the shot would scatter, so you could get a lot of them with a single burst.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you're just firing off machine gun rounds, you're gonna miss a lot more than you hit.
How about flamethrower?
Flamethrower. I could cook them at the same time. That's true. Napalm.
Yeah.
Set it to the right temperature. 350 degrees for 45 minutes.
Mike, this is pretty good storytelling. If this were like a 4-panel grid.
Yeah. Look at the guy in the upper right-hand corner.
Laughing.
Just laughing at the guy.
He's like, don't look at me. He's like, I wanted Ethan to shoot him. And he's walking away.
No, I think he's jealous of the sodomy part.
Yeah, that's the problem. And people accidentally get penetrated in the back hole. A lot. It does happen a lot. A lot more than you want to think, Mike. You're anti getting penetrated accidentally in the back hole propaganda. Quite aside. Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is. It is what it is, Mike. Damn, what is that called again? What is that called when you take a pole and you jump over you run with the pole? Pole vaulting.
Pole vaulting.
No, not this.
Look up that video, aren't you?
Yeah. Now this is a guy. This is a guy who was accidentally penetrated with his during a pole vault.
That guy raped himself.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna look up pole vault anus. And, it came right up.
That should do it. Yep.
It came right up. Not a lot of people have seen this video.
It's a classic.
It is a classic. It's one of my favorites. I must have watched this 100 times. But this is what I'm saying. This is exactly what goes on. All right. All right. So here he goes. Pole vaulting fail. Up the ass. That's clickbait, Mike.
Yep, that is indeed clickbait.
All right. So let's watch him go. Now watch. Boom. And then watch the pole. Okay. Ready? Oh. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Let's go back and see that again, Mike.
You should change the name of this video to pole vaulting fail.
Yeah. Okay. Up.
164,000 views, man.
There it goes. Right there. Right
look
there.
at him.
Now watch.
His
It's
body's-
bending.
His body just stiffens up. He's like, what?
That's one thing, but the problem is the pole is literally bending.
Yeah.
As it catches the flesh. As it goes up there and finds a little bit of resistance, Mike. At first it's a little resistance and then there's no resistance.
Nope, just slides right up in there.
It goes deeper, Mike. Good thing he's looking away. You know what I mean? He's looking away from the camera. I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, that's see, now that's when the pole goes straight, Mike. We're looking at this like the Zapruder film. The pole has gone straight. Okay,
His body is
it just went up.
the body language is like, no.
Mike, see, at first it was bending because it was finding resistance, but now it's straight because it is no longer finding resistance. It found its entryway. Okay, it found its entryway, and now that's got to be 18 inches up there, Mike.
Oh, that's right up into the large intestine.
Yeah. The sad thing is his friends are watching, and there's nothing they can do about it for him. They see what's going on. You know? They see what's going on.
And that's how he became the Joker.
This is the Joker origin story. You're right. All right. Again. There. That's finally it came out. Violently. He shot it out of himself. And people just saying, oh my God. Horrible, Mike. So there are worse things, okay? There are worse things than me shooting geese. That's what I'm trying to say.
If that happened to me, I would not play that sport anymore.
I wouldn't blame you for not playing that sport anymore if that happened to you. You know? All right, let me read some of these super chats here. People are sending super chats like crazy, and they have a lot to say about geese, of course. Michael Ross says, as a fellow Mike, I love the hey Mike jokes. Well, you're all alone.
They're all yours.
Mike doesn't like him at all. What do your kids think of them?
Elijah,
What?
what do you think of the Hey Mike jokes?
No comment.
No comment, he says.
He doesn't like him at all. Is that the sense that I'm getting, Mike?
It's the sense I'm getting.
He doesn't like him. He's laughing over there. He does like him. Mike. That's a young you back there. He looks just like you.
He does.
Yeah. I think he does love him. All right. So Timecode Mechanics says, don't let the demons or the commies win. Support Victor Locke Demon Noir. We're 56% funded. And in our last 7 days, and Mike, no penis pics in it.
Nice.
Brian the Observer says the good night is less than $400 away from 15K. That's great. Zaid Comics says EVS was wondering the details on the bar meetup this weekend and wanted to announce we are doing a mailing list for a free issue of Magic Cop. Zaid Comics, I think we're going to have to organize that bar meetup tomorrow, probably on the High Council, because I'm not really sure. I can't speak for the other two guys. I know Jeremy is already in Chicago. I'm not coming until the end of the week. So I don't really know. But everybody was kind of keen on it. Everybody liked the idea of going on Saturday, maybe. The arcade. Your arcade. Jussie Smollett says 20th anniversary of Fabio killing Seagull with Face.
What?
Yeah, Fabio actually was on was it a seagull or a duck? He was on a roller coaster and a duck smashed into his face.
Gosh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was that the end of his career? I mean, before we picked him up. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure about it.
You should
by
see
the way,
how's the Meg doing?
how is the Meg doing?
I don't know. My wife took my other computer away. It's got all my pages open.
How is Theme G doing? Let me look. It's a 55,000 on the dot, Mike.
Nice.
Did you know that?
I did not. It was
okay,
just
well,
last time I checked.
Okay, so let's share this real quick so people can see. Mike
Somebody
is at
bought the retailer pack, man. That was nice.
yeah, $55,000, 786 backers. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good job. Let's see. Cyberfrog Blood Honey is just flipped to 140,000 today. $140,521. Look, there are only 4 days left, guys. So get in, get your copy of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. And let's I don't know, let's get this thing to 150. I think we can do that, Mike.
Let's do better than that.
We can probably do better than that. Right? What?
Are you going to extend it or just leave it open?
I think I have to extend it, but I'm confused about a few things.
Because you're going to be on when it...
Yeah, I'm going to be gone. I could extend it anyway. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's going to keep going, because I want this thing to go all through printing. But the question is, all right, if I extend it, the reason why, okay, I'd rather just leave it and let it become a store. But if you do that, you can't add anything to it. And I need to add... You can't add things to a store.
Absolutely. Anytime. It becomes an actual web store. You can add things to it freaking every day if you want.
Oh.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to run another campaign either. Whatever you sell, it just comes out of your next payment. Or it goes into your next payment.
Well, that's a thought. I've got to do this one thing, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I do this one thing. I'm doing variant covers for other books and selling them through Cyberfrog. With Cyberfrog on them. All right. So that's the big thing. The new tier is going to be, there are going to be comic books, other indie comics, not Comicsgate, that are going to run variant covers of their characters with Cyberfrog dealing with the swarm, with the Vespis. All right. So we got 4 of those. Now, selling the books. So what the idea is going to be, hey, here's Cyberfrog and this character, and there are going to be 4 of them, 4 different covers. You're going to be able to buy a tier there are going to be 3 different tiers. Each tier is going to have all 4 covers. There's going to be one with the colored version, one with the black and white version, and then one with something else. I don't know. Okay. So
one will be a virgin variant and one will be with the logo.
Yeah, that's right. Not Comicsgate, mainstream characters.
I know how
quote unquote mainstream, not Comicsgate, mainstream characters with Cyberfrog. So those are coming up. Now I got to draw them, and I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm drawing the interiors of Cyberfrog right now. I don't really want to stop and do covers, and I don't want to go to Star Wars Celebration because this is interrupting my whole flow. I don't want to go.
No?
Mike, I'm not like you. I don't like conventions.
I don't like conventions either, but I've never been to a Star Wars Celebration.
Well, I've never been either. It could be a lot of fun. I mean, I want to see the fans. I want to hang out with friends. But I really don't want to take 4 days off of work. So I'm bringing my computer and I'm going to write while I'm out there. But it's not something that's conveniently timed. Let's put it that way.
No.
Yeah. Cyril Dion Illyrium says, thought you didn't like variant covers. No, it's not variant covers that I don't like. Some variant covers are appropriate if there's a demand for them. Predatory variant covers are covers for books at random with 0 demand, and they exist only to convince people to buy more copies of a regular book.
Wait, now you will be doing the Lone Star variant first, right?
No.
Ugh.
When do you need that?
Well, I want to launch the campaign is within the next week or two.
Mhm.
I keep saying week or two, but now it's like, but pretty soon. And I'd like to have it. You know what? No, I can within that 4-week span because I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make one cover available per week, and then after the first week, you can't get cover A, and then after the second week, you can't get cover A or B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd like to actually have your cover to show when it's time for your cover to be made available.
I'm doing so many covers. I'm doing yours. I'm doing Vestige. I'm doing these 4.
Mm-hmm.
I like this idea of doing Cyberfrog interacting with other characters because in my world, all of these characters existed, but they're all dead now. Well, I like to think that Michelangelo from the Turtles might be still alive, but the other 3 are dead.
Ethan, if you want to do Cyberfrog on the Lone Star cover, go ahead. I mean, together.
Yeah. The death of Lone Star. Well, that's what he would be. It would be like
you don't have to have them fighting.
No, that's not. No, Cyberfrog would not fight any of these people. Cyberfrog would be in an alliance with them, trying to stop the Wasps. I mean, that's I don't like Cyberfrog fighting other heroes. I just don't like that. That's not what he's here for. He's here to stop the bugs. Some people are saying I'm going to cosplay as Jabba the Hutt with no padding needed.
Oh,
I'm not that fat. I'm fat, but I'm compared to Mike. See, it's weird. Here's the problem I have. To call me fat in this industry, in this hobby, like if this hobby were like professional tennis, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a big tubblard.
yeah.
But this is comics, Mike. It's Star Wars.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, there are people. I'm not even the size of their leg.
Who in the Star Wars universe would you cosplay as?
Abaddon says you're fat. Stop being fat. Who would I cosplay as if I were going to start? Well, naturally Han Solo. Elegant, slim, handsome.
Okay, but realistically,
Oh.
What character do you think you would best suit?
The Rancor monster.
That'd be cool.
That's what I would dress as.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And I'd have a little Gamorrean guard in my mouth.
There you go.
People are saying Porkins. I don't look like Porkins. I'm not that.
No, you could do. You could actually get like a pig and dress him up like a Gamorrean guard.
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
I don't like conventions, man. And I don't like them. I went to Dragon Con in 2003, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
That is degeneracy.
Oh, yes.
Dragon Con, I stepped out of my room. I was drawing commissions all night. And I'll never forget this. I stepped out of my room at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And the hotel is like one of those hotels where it's like the floors are like a ring and you can look straight. You can go to the railing and look straight down and see the floor of the...
you were in the Marriott?
Was it a Marriott? Yeah, okay. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
So I go there and I'm just kind of like, taking a break, getting a breath of fresh air outside. And I see 2 stormtroopers about 4 floors beneath me having sex.
How's that? What?
One of them was leaning over the railing. They were in full gear. I couldn't tell the genders. Well, one of them. That was clear. But I'll never forget that.
I can't imagine you would.
And I went, I'm not coming back here.
That's definitely not a show you take the kids to.
No. No.
No.
And yet I did.
Did you really?
And he said, "Dad, what's going on down there?" I said, "Nothing. Nothing's going on."
Stormtrooper trying to kill the other stormtrooper. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah. TK521, why aren't you at your post? I am.
I'm at your post.
Yeah. TK421, do you copy? Disgusting. All right, so what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, so Cyberfrog Blood Honey. $140,521. Now is the time. I'm going to add some covers to this. We're going to have like a pretty new bonus. Talking to some people about new perks, like new things to do, new product. The first thing that we're going to do when this ends, actually, what we're going to do at the end of April, whether this ends or not, is we're going to do we're going to launch a trading card set. Did I tell you about this, Mike?
Yeah.
We're going to do a trading card set. It's going to be an exclusive trading card set with original art, with autograph cards. All of Comicsgate is going to be invited to participate. In fact, I'm going to call upon favors from you guys to produce sketch cards, autographed sketch cards of Cyberfrog or Salamandroid or Heather Swain. Yeah. And we're going to do these. We're going to do incredibly awesome trading cards. We're going to do a whole campaign to launch these. You're going to be able to get trading cards with original art, sketches, autographs, all that stuff. That's going to happen at the end of this month. And people will get paid. Mike, you'll get paid if you do them. I know you're busy.
I could do a couple.
By a couple, I mean 100.
No, I'm not doing 100.
Mike.
Are you kidding me? You know how long that would take?
A day, you know.
No, you just squirt them out like that. That's mean.
Yeah, everyone's saying get Kyung to do Heather Swain. Yeah, well, I would like to. All right. So, very good. Meg, and Six Gun Samurai Deal with the Devil. A lot of people are unaware that this is still available. It is in demand. Mike S. Miller's Trinity of Terror, Trinity of Mike's creative genius, the variety of Mike. You know, I mean, look, Mike is really good at what he does. He's really good at what he does, and he does shark books, and he does tangents, and he does Six Gun Samurai and Deal with the Devil. If you haven't yet backed the Meg or backed Samurai, Six Gun Samurai, Deal with the Devil, right here, here's your chance. Make sure to do it. Make sure to enrich Mike. Make sure to bless Mike. Pour out blessings upon Mike and his family.
I'm the best there is at what I do, bub.
Yeah. I would like this to be called Theme G. Next time. Theme G. Everyone likes Theme G.
Working on it. All right.
All right, let me get back to these super chats here. All right, so Harmonicaster says, please tell folks about the Harmonicaster electric harmonica I invented. Cool tone, plays loud without feedback, compatible with all effects. Well, you just told him Harmonicaster. Congratulations, and good luck with that. Francis Lancer says, Clown World is an alt-right meme. Amateur Ant says, wasn't the Meg a Family Guy spinoff that portrays her as a 50-foot shark? LOL. Mike, that's not true, right?
That is inaccurate.
Bloodwork for $10 says, Ethan, tell Mike he's right about Wolverine. Fleshing out his origin ruined him.
Exactly, bub.
Lennon McCarthy says, they don't even make their own points correctly. They say white men are villains. They can't tell heroes from villains, right from wrong. No, they can't. And Zoibod says, they say Joker validates white male anger. Funny thing is, all the people beating his ass are white in the trailer. Don't tell the SJWs that, though. They will start with the lack of diversity spiel. See, you can't win, Mike.
Yeah, that's why I had illegal immigrants being my villains on the cover of my book.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did people call you a racist?
Absolutely.
So what else is no? That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Louis976 says, just got Bigfoot Bill and worth the money. Did you get Bigfoot Bill?
I did an unboxing. That's the video I was doing earlier today. Remember?
Does it have my name in it? Did he dedicate it to me?
It does. It says...
Let me see. Hi, baby. I'm live if you want to come down. The camera's not on. No, okay.
It says, this book is dedicated to Ethan Van Sciver. Right there.
With a bone? Why does it have a bone?
That is an excellent question.
Let me
for
see.
another
Show it.
Hold on.
I ordered one, but I don't have it yet. I don't expect that I will.
You'll probably get it today or
Doug's
tomorrow.
probably mad at me. This book is dedicated to Ethan Van Sciver. Thank you to all the backers for making this book happen. Oh, that's just it. And then there's a bone there. That's the finger bone of Poseidon, except, it's more like a thigh bone, really. It's like a femur. Yeah.
You got
that, Mike, I like that it's dedicated to me.
Really? You like that?
Yeah. I didn't expect that I would like to be singled out and tributed, but I do like it.
It's got to be a nice feeling.
Let me see how it feels. Yeah, it feels good. Liam Gray says, "Go live stream shooting a goose. SJWs will wig out." Charlie's one. You want me to do that?
Yeah, that'd be so rad. Are you allowed to? I mean, do you have to have a license or anything?
I would assume that you're not allowed to go shoot a goose. No.
You should be able to. Just say, "Hey, I'm trying to take care of my family here. This is America."
I don't disagree. Charlie's London says, "Fry and SJW's mind. Remind them that Nazis are socialist and National Socialist DAP stood for National Socialist German Workers' Party. Proof SJWs are the real Nazis." I like when people say that they're the real racists and the real Nazis.
Yep.
Doug Bobcat says, "We have a goose overpopulation problem." We do too. Liam Gray says, "Seriously, Google goosebeak monster mouths." Yeah, geese are creepy. Ishmael Tiburcio says, "Use an AA-12." Mark C says, "Think about all the homeless you could feed with those geese." That's what I'm thinking about. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. Rezakai says, "That goose was a Chuck Tingle fan." Confirmed. Yeah, Mike. Remember Chuck Tingle?
No. What is Chuck Tingle?
You don't know who Chuck Tingle is?
I do not. Should I? Sounds like it's important.
I mean, we can go through it again. The audience, do you guys want me to go through Chuck Tingle for Mike? Find out who Chuck Tingle is? I mean, I will. All right, Mike. Chuck Tingle is a rather well known. He's well known for what he does. He writes books. He writes fictional books.
Mm-hmm.
They all have kind of a common theme. That he focuses. He sticks to one idea. This one's called Space Raptor Butt Redemption. This one's called Helicopter Man Pounds Dinosaur Billionaire Ass.
Honestly, I don't know why I asked.
Okay. This one's called My Billionaire Triceratops Craves Gay Ass. Pounded in the Butt. Butt-ageddon, The Final Day. A lot of them, the pictures aren't here. A lot of them don't have the illustrations. You really need to. Now, I bought one called Pounded in the Butt by My Own Butt. And it broke the fourth wall. It was interesting. And I read it for a little while. If we could go back and do a little bit.
Deadpool take on the whole thing.
Yeah. But everything, he's pounded in the butt by things. That's mostly what he does. He does books about being pounded in the butt, usually by dinosaurs from space.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's sort of a bestiality type guy.
Yeah. Why people say, why is this? This is Vox Day did this as part of Gamergate, Mike.
Vox Day published those?
No, he promoted them. Vox Day's big thing for Gamergate was to attack the Hugo Awards. Picture the Eisner Awards. Okay, you know how the Eisners are total bullshit because they never really give an award to anyone who's sold a comic book. It's always stuff you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Well, the Hugo Awards are the same way. I mean, they're, the Hugo Awards are science fiction awards, and they're always given to social justice warrior authors who never sell any books and nobody's ever heard of them. But it's always a woman, or it's always, a person of color. It's never a white man. It never is. Now, Vox Day, decided that he would get on the platform. He would become one of the people who gets to push through, one of the nominees. And then he supported and pushed forward for nomination Chuck Tingle, author of Space Raptor Butt Invasion. And he got all of his fans to vote for Space Raptor Butt Invasion for Best Book of 2015.
Oh,
And it basically destroyed Gamergate. I mean, it destroyed the Hugo Awards because they had to get up there and go, Best Science Fiction Novel for 2015. Chuck Tingle, Space Raptor Butt Invasion. And that destroyed the Hugo. Like, he had Chuck Tingle everywhere. So Chuck Tingle blew up because of that, and he wrote even more and more bizarre, gay porno books about dinosaurs and unicorns.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's how I found out about him. If you read Vox Day's book, SJWs Always Lie, he does a whole spiel about it, which is it's still a great book no matter how you feel about Vox Day. He knows SJWs pretty well. So that is Chuck Tingle. And every time I look, I laugh because he's written 500 books with titles like that. He's very prolific. I admire that, being prolific like that. I can't do it.
Like Nasser.
Yeah, Nasser is the Chuck Tingle of vomit, vomit fiction.
There he is. We've got our very own Chuck Tingle in Nasser.
Yeah, everyone in the chat saying I hate Vox, but that's awesome. That is correct. You feel however you like about Vox Day, but man, when you control like that, that's next level trolling. It's pretty great. All right, so Lloyd Aloha says pounded in my butt by a flying goose, so he knows about Chuck Tingle. Geekora says been watching vids of cosplayers getting ready for Celebration. All I can say is metachlorians must be very high in calories. Oh dear. Liam Gray says, are the Wasps incubating a new queen in Chelsea? You never know. Well-read user says, are you and Gabriel Piccolo beefing? Funny comments. No, I am not beefing with Gabriel Piccolo at all. In fact, I support him doing very well in this campaign. Andrea saw a bunch of his comments, a bunch of the comments on that. She's like, what's going on with that? Why is everybody so weird? And I was like, I don't know. I think they think like, oh, we've got to defeat Ethan Van Sciver. But you see, that's not how to defeat me. The way to defeat me is to make it so that nobody buys my books. But that's just not going to happen.
Is this the guy Icarus in the Sun?
Yeah, Icarus in the Sun. And a couple things about this. Let me first I'll be genuine and then I'll be snarky. Me being genuine. This is the future. This is the future that I'm promoting. I'm not just promoting this future for people who agree with me. I'm promoting this future for comic book creators. Being able to win an audience, and Gabriel has 230 followers on Twitter, 230,000 followers.
Million.
What? Not million. 230.
2 million, wasn't it?
On Twitter? No.
I meant Instagram.
On Instagram, right. This guy's got an enormous audience, like 10 times the size of mine, social media following. I don't know how he got it. He must be very big in Brazil. I've never heard of him until this. And so this is exactly right. You get a huge social media following. You crowdfund your own books. What this ends up doing is it sets a big example for the mainstream comic book industry. We don't depend on you. And that doesn't just mean us with Comicsgate. That means everybody. Anybody can get out there and and make money for themselves, a lot of money for themselves by winning a good social media audience, providing a decent product, crowdfunding it through Indiegogo, by the way, not Kickstarter, Indiegogo. And Gabe Piccolo, however he feels about me, did exactly what I've been saying. And I'm not saying he did it because of me. I don't think he listens to me. But he did exactly what I'm saying, and he succeeded amazingly. What does this mean? This means that other artists, other creators are going to have to take note, and eventually they're going to be doing the same thing too. And this ends up with a whole new level of indie comics making decent change, getting out there and changing comics for the better, changing the entire industry for the better. People don't have to depend on Marvel and DC anymore. Marvel and DC need to understand that. Yeah. So that worked out. Now, here's me being snarky. He didn't beat me. Amazingly, he ended his campaign.
He did?
He ended it after a month. Now, this is the thing. It's like everybody's like, "Congratulations, he almost got to 600,000 in his first month, which clobbered Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog got to maybe 350 or 400 in the first month. And it wasn't until a complete 2 months that it got to 538. Well, he got to like 590 something in his first month. Now, had he continued it for another month or left it open as a store, in another month, he would have been probably pushing on 1 million, and he would have utterly annihilated Cyberfrog. What?
He didn't even leave his store open.
No, he ended it.
Wow.
So he didn't quite get to 600,000. And sorry, SJWs, Cyberfrog is still the reigning champion, the biggest crowdfunded comic book of all time. I mean, that is.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, I kind of. What'd you say?
The comment he made, though, about you being evil.
Yeah, he said the evil is defeated.
Yeah, but I don't know. That could be just a tongue-in-cheek thing, like anyone saying, "Oh, hey, this other guy is beating you," and he's, "Oh, I must defeat this evil."
Well, no, he initially showed the two campaigns side by side. I think it's clear that he knew what he was doing.
I just mean, unless I've seen something else that is disparaging about you in particular, that could just be a tongue-in-cheek statement.
I think there was another thing. I think he did a follow-up somewhere else that kind of made it clear he was doubling down on that. He knew what he was doing. He knew that, like, I have to beat Comicsgate. Ethan represents Comicsgate, and Ethan is the. And this is the other thing. SJWs went through this whole thing just before this happened, where they listed a bunch of different ways that other random comic book campaigns beat Cyberfrog.
Uh-huh.
And then Gabriel Piccolo defeats Cyberfrog the first month, and they immediately jump to he's the biggest crowdfunded campaign of all time. Well, what about Order of the Stick then? Because under no circumstances did Gabriel beat Order of the Stick.
What was Order of the Stick? I don't.
So Order of the Stick was a campaign that's been running since 2012. And it's a bunch of reprints of stick figure comics that were webtoons or something. I don't know, web comics.
Uh-huh.
And because it's been running for 6 years, it's at $1.4 million. Okay. So, I mean, they're like, Order of the Stick sold more than you. It's like, well, check back with me in 2026. It's like, this is a single book. It's original. And it's already at like $750,000. Again, if I just leave it open this whole time, I'm pretty sure I'll be passing that within 6 years. Yeah. So the same thing goes for Icarus and the Sun. I'm like, why did you quit?
Yeah.
Why did you quit, dude? But okay, Cyberfrog's still the biggest crowdfunded comic book of all time, I guess.
Well, Ethan, you quit.
Well, I mean, not real. Well,
you're like, oh, that's enough money. I'm done. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is enough money? Enough money. I mean, as long as there are people out there willing to give you money, please them.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I kind of came around though, because it's like, you always think that this is going to be the biggest that you get, and that's it. It's like, even when you're eating pies every day, like, this is it. This is as big as I can get. But things change, and you have to change. You have to get a bigger size jeans, and you have to stretch your YouTube channel a little bit because your subscriber count doubles. And then you have people saying, how do I buy Cyberfrog? So, yeah, that's the thing. I did have to open it, and it just doesn't make any sense. We're talking about doing a black and white version of it to raise more money. It's like, hey, why shouldn't we make $1 million off of this book? We absolutely should.
That's right.
So we opened it up again.
I mean, dude, I think of 15 years from now, how much more you're going to make off of this one book after you've done the next book and the next one and the next one. And every time you pick up a new reader, they're going to want all of the entire catalog,
Yeah, of course. So Yeah. So it just seemed like the right thing to do. And it'd been so long since it was funded anyway. It was only funded for a week in September, 2 weeks back in July. So open it up again and just leave it open with this new version. This is going to be the version that's not chromium. It's going to have a spine, and it's
Yeah.
going to be the common version. Like I'm just going to, if you order it this way through Indiegogo, it's still going to be autographed, but I'm just going to leave this open. I think. Let's leave it open.
I think you should.
Let's see what happens. Cyberfrog 2, when that gets announced, like, yeah, you can get Cyberfrog 1. It's over here. It's in demand right over here.
Yep.
Seems like the best way to go. Dr. Fantastic says Ethan Van Sciver is going to grow exponentially. I will, the way I'm eating pies. Razek says, did Piccolo talk shit? Yeah, there was a little, he kind of did. He called me evil, which is just like, I mean, it's so insane, but I just kind of shrug at this point. I know what I'm doing. I'm standing up to the entire comic book industry. I'm pointing the finger and saying, you guys are doing bad stuff. You know what I mean? I understand the consequences of that. I understand that that's going to mean that I'm going to be a target. I get it, in a way. In another way, I don't see why I'm getting this much attention. But yeah, he did. And then a lot of other like SJWs who like normal people, the normal SJWs that you would expect were like, yeah, high five. Like you guys didn't even know about this campaign. And not only that, I did promote Gabriel. It doesn't matter what he says about me. It's not about him. It's about the comic book industry changing. It's about the comic book industry changing. You don't have to love me in order for me to want you to do well in comics. I want you to do well.
Ethan, how many can you check his right now and see how many actual supporters he has? How many people bought?
Oh, how many people bought his book?
Yeah,
hang on, let's see.
Because I want you to remember another thing. Those are probably a bunch of people he brought over from DeviantArt, brought over from Instagram.
Dude, no kidding. Yeah, that's the whole point.
They
it's
are
like
now users of Indiegogo and shoppers of our books.
Yeah. Look at this. Look how close he came to 600, dude. Look how close he came. 16,377 backers. I think that's
15,000 customers into our wheelhouse.
People who are going to be shopping. Yeah, and by the way, Downcast was advertised at the bottom of this somewhere. Sweetcast, Downcast, which is good. We want him to do well as well. But I mean, this is what what. Why wouldn't you leave this open? But then again, here's the other thing. This guy, he did what Doug did. Like he started out like this is going to be a comic book, and then he made some money and went, now it's going to be a hardcover. And you think you're being smart. You think you're giving people something, but it's like what you're doing essentially is you're giving away twice your shipping budget because hardcovers are heavy and expensive to ship. And the printing cost is going to be a lot more.
Media mail, man.
What's that?
Doug sent his media mail, so 3 pounds media mail.
Yeah.
I don't think that costs too much.
Well, Doug had a shortfall.
Oh, really?
Doug lost $16,000 to $18,000 in shipping.
Really?
Yeah. He was
Dude, that
pissed.
shipping that'll bite you, man. That's
you gotta understand, shipping is no joke. I just wrote a check for fulfillment. It was $100,000. That's just a part of it. That's just to get started.
Yeah.
That's just to get started. They're just like, we need a guarantee. $100,000 to ship Cyberfrog.
crazy.
That's how it is. So, something like this, you've got 16,377 backers. You're shipping at least 16,377 hardcover books, at least that many. I hope you have a fulfillment center because you ain't doing that by yourself. And I hope you can do it. It's gonna be quite a project.
Where he's fulfilling out of.
Yeah. Well, he's fulfilling out of Brazil. He's in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Right, but cost-wise, it might make more sense for him to print and ship out of America. You know.
Yeah. James Hayes says, "Can you claim that 100K on your taxes as a deduction?" Of course. Of course. You know, by the time this is over, first of all, I already paid taxes on everything, all the money that came in without taking any deductions except for expenses already incurred. Like, you know, I just cut the check for fulfillment last week. And then I signed a bunch of other deals, by the way, Mike. I signed a ton of deals. You're going to be really happy about that. Yeah. Cyberfrog's blowing up. But anyway, yeah, like I you know, I'm going to take a loss in a way on Cyberfrog that's going to be made up with Rainbow Brute. It's like a little tax trick because I already paid taxes without taking expenses out last year. This year, I'm going to be, you know, paying out expenses, and those are going to be, yeah, I'm going to make a lot more money this year. So it's going to keep me in a good tax bracket.
Yeah, it's freaking leapfrog, man. I hate taxes.
I can't stand them either, but we hired the best. Like I'm like, you know, talking to the CPA and she's explaining why we're doing things a certain way with this money.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm like, talk to me like I'm like 5 years old and challenged. And she's like, I'll show you in like pictures. So she's like, so she uses paper clips and pencils to like show me, you know, like this is 2018, this is 2019. This is all your money. I'm like, oh, okay. I think I got it now. Stupid. I don't want to deal with money at all. I really don't. You know, it's like I have my business account and the only money I touch is the money that I make from YouTube and royalties and stuff. You know, that's the money I play with.
Did you get your royalty check?
I did. It wasn't very much this time.
Yeah, they get smaller and smaller as time goes. When you're off the hamster wheel, the royalty checks diminish.
Yeah, but I thought about it and I went, I don't get royalty checks. Like if I were working on Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, those royalties for those books suck. And as the sales decline, it's just inevitable. Like even if I were working at DC right now, I wouldn't be working on a book that was earning royalties. You have to be selling 40,000 copies of something. And at the end of Green Lantern Corps or Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, we were selling under 30. So it's working. You're working at a discount already.
Yeah.
If not working on a book that's selling more than 40,000 copies, you're working at a discount because you're not getting royalties. And then your trade paperbacks come out. A trade paperback for Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps would come out, and I'd make $2,000 in royalties. You know, it's not the publishing that is where it counts. The publishing's no big deal. It's Atrocitus. It's the movies and toys and stuff like that. Those checks come twice a year, and they're enormous. But publishing's pathetic at this point. I mean, I'm happy to get it. I don't want it to stop. It was still a lot of money. People would look at that check and go, "That's a lot of money." It's just not that much money compared to what we can do now. Yeah.
It's like work was done years ago. Keep sending me money.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it is. Diversity and Cecil needs an expense account. You will not get one. You get zero. Cecil. Somebody would have to be stupid to give you an expense account if you were working for them. That would be insane. All right. So in any case, yeah. So Gabriel Piccolo, not a fan. His fans, not fans. They think this was a victory, and it was, but it could have been better. This is for his first month, and so pretty much he clobbered Cyberfrog's first month by like almost 100%. Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe 50%. I think 50%.
You hit 400K your first before it ended, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. So like he clobbered it by 50%.
Yeah.
He could have beat the whole thing had he kept his campaign on. But then on the other hand, settle down. You've got 16,377 people to fulfill, and they're hardcover books that aren't finished yet. So, you know, that comes out in December. Best wishes.
Yeah, but keep in mind, lives in Brazil, dude.
What about that? Oh, the money, you mean?
Whatever money was made, he's a millionaire now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge, man. Money goes, the American dollar goes pretty far down there. He can afford to get help, like,
Yeah.
All right, so Broken Whisker says reparations now, reparations forever. Amateur Ant says you guys didn't get my Meg joke. Extraordinary Jackson says I just received my Bigfoot bill. It's gorgeous. And Richard Wetfist says, Richard Wetfist. Hey, Mike, he says. Albert Stoddard says Icarus and the Sun is a traditional heteronormative love story set in a fantasy setting with beautiful art. Of course, it sold well. Oof, that's a diss, I guess. Heteronormative. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a campaign that's for girls.
Heteronormative is almost as bad as incel.
Yeah, he's not like, maybe he should have done a story about him breaking up with a guy.
Yeah,
that would have sold even better.
He could have won Eisner.
Ooh. Well, if he did, I would like to introduce the Eisner Committee to the graphic novels of Chuck Tingle. Billionaire Triceratops bangs my butt. Drawn by Comicsgate.
You get the license if you want to do those comics. Go.
Yeah. Why not? Be funny. All right, I got to get to work. It's 6:30. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Muerte Annunciata says, "Hey Ethan, see what I sent there?" No, what? What did you send? Yeah, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. We'll have to check it out. We like Muerte. He's good. He buys a lot of our work.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna go and get back to work here. But great. Thank you so much, Mike, for coming on.
Yeah, I'm gonna get cross-examination started here in a little bit. And yeah, back to Mike.
Cool.
Back theme G. Theme G.
All right. Bye, everyone.